they identify themselves historically by their differences, tribal affairs, region affairs, culture affairs, religious affairs, dialect affairs, English.
For sure, but we live in this world that we live in. This modernized world was shaped by those Europeans. So now,
so hold on, Chief. Is that saying because they called you that's the deciding factor rather than what you call yourself?
Right. No. I'm saying if we did not have an affinity for that word before they called us that, then inherently we are inheriting those characteristics of what they said.
Hold on, Ron. Let me help you. Let me give you 1 second. So how do you explain this? When we listen to particular people from other countries, especially Africans, they say that they see themselves by tribe first, nationality second, and lastly, which is what rarely they think about as being black.
Facts.
That's last on their list.
Facts.
So if that's coming from themselves, that means they don't even think of themselves as such. So what's more important, what they think of themselves or what other people call them?
That's subjective. Honestly, it changes. It depends. I promise you it do. I mean, well, I believe it do because I mean, well, hold on. Actually, I take that back. Yes, I agree, but South Africa is a perfect talking point. Because now they understand racialized black versus racialized white, right? They don't view them Afrikaners as real Africans, right? They say it all the time.
That's not race, that's African. And South Africa,
but it's race too, though, because they understand the difference between a colored and a Zulu. They understand the difference between they understand these differences.
Not just that. Oh, did you read Mandela's what was the name of that book Mandela wrote?
No, I did not.
In Mandela's book, he spoke about how when he started getting into fighting for for rights in South Africa, he wasn't fighting for all South Africans. He said when he was fighting, he was only fighting for his people. When he said that, he meant just his tribe.
I disagree.
That's what he said in his book.
Nah, I don't know. I would have to see that specifically because the Zulus are the majority tribe in South Africa for sure. But there's other tribes that's there. In South Africa for sure. But there's other tribes that's there.
The point I'm making, what Ron is saying, right? These people don't see themselves even as it stands today in the continent today. There's no continuity or connection they have with one another based on black.
I disagree. Right. They have it, and this is what I was saying earlier. This is a part of the mutual, the tangible benefit that we would have if we can do the work which we've already done. These people are claiming black. We have Africans that, yes, they are. Wait, let me finish.
Let me get him, brother. Because this is, this is my lane.
Wait, let me finish. Hold on, because I already know what y'all gonna say, and I agree with what y'all saying.
You don't.
I do. What I'm saying is,
ain't nobody ever heard this coming from me before. Trust me.
What I'm saying is, we have African celebrities and business owners that are talking about, yes, before we came to America, we did not understand what black was. We do not but they are learning like, oh shoot, we're black. We have people.
Wait, stop right there, Chief. How are they defining? Okay, at that point right there, that you said they're learning they're black.
Their race group. They're defining it as a race group. That's the difference. What I'm saying, we are black three ways for sure. We're black ethnically.
Chief, hold on, but Chief, race. Okay, when did we become racially black? What date?
What date was? Yeah. I would say 1696. Whenever, it has to be. Whenever that Virginia. Wait, hold on. Matter of fact, I got notes on this. Hold on, go ahead.
Yeah, bro. No, I'm talking about federally recognized as a race black. It was always Negro, my guy. It was Negro. Okay, so the switch. I can help you out.
It was before this nation was an actual nation.
No, bro, you talking about Negro. You talking about Negro. I'm saying the word, the English word.
Oh, like the actual word black. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Because, I don't know.
Okay, brother, I study different language. I study Greek. I study Spanish. Okay, so now you have literal definitions and you have the applied definition. The applied definition is different than the preset defined definition from Oxford, right? So when Spanish people call us mayate, or what we call akata literally translates as a wildcat. That has nothing to do with us.
Fire today. It's just fire. I love that.
Right, but the way it's applied as a derogatory,
as a negative,
racial,
100%.
Right. So you got application versus definition. Right. So Negro was the race that they gave everybody, indigenous people in this country and people of Africa all over the place, even Brazilians. They called everybody Negro who was brown, dark, basically. Right. It was synonymous. But the Negro, the way it was applied, you were not simply a dark human. You were inferior. So that's why no African country besides the Sudanese people was crazy enough to take on the word black or Negro at that time. The Igbo stayed the Igbo, Ashanti stayed Ashanti, and Congo stayed the Congolese. Only people who fell for that trick bag were the Sudanese people. They were called Bilal al-Sudan by Arabs. They were known as Mali, Guinea, Kushites, Nubians. They took the bag. Okay, then outside of them, Jamaicans. They called themselves Zaimakas. The British came by and said, no, you're Jamaicans. And they said, we're Jamaicans. The British said, hey, all you tribes over here in the Niger region, you're all Nigerian. They took it on. These are exonyms. Exonyms are normally rejected by people. People name themselves. Nobody get named by people. So I'm trying to tell you. So nobody really believes they're black because they never internalized that word. It was given to them by their oppressors. They tell us we got one common enemy. You say who they are. They say the white man. Then we say, well, why you let the white man name you? If that's your enemy, why are you accepting his name? We don't accept nothing from the white man. Okay? And neither does the East Africans or even the North Africans. But for some reason, the West Africans and the Southern Africans, they got this affinity where they value white man so much so it's crazy. And these are the Pan-Africans, by the way, not the East Africans or North Africans. It's the ones, the ASS kissers. Okay, so but in their homeland, they do not call themselves black. They call themselves by their tribe, they call themselves by their nationality, and then they call themselves by their continental identifier. When does black have room? That is a racial category where they only become that when they fill out forms for assistance by the white man. They are not black in none of their ethnic affairs. That's why I say Nigerians are Nigerians ethnically. Their dollar is called the Nigerian dollar. Their banks are Nigerian banks. Their economy is the Nigerian economy. Their crime is Nigerian on Nigerian. Their scams are called Nigerian scams. Nothing in society is called black. Their crime ain't called black. It's called Nigerian crime, right? Even their scams called Nigerian, and they got a Nigerian flag. The only people on earth who are ethnically black, that means they tie black into all of what they do in life, are just foundational black Americans. Haitians are Haitians and everything in life. There's no room for black. Jamaicans are Jamaicans and everything in life. There's no room for black for nobody outside of us. So they are saying they're black when they come here to tether onto resources that's specifically for us, or supposedly. And then that word black is also the trick bag. So when everyone is included to black, then everyone is excluded. So you can't get anything done in black in the name black. Nothing is done. Nothing is allowed. It's a racial construct that shows no specificities. It shows no harm, no direct harm for nobody. It's a nothing burger. This is the start of our paper ethnocide because they're only black on paper. That's my point. So this global blackness doesn't exist. But there is a global Africanist. There is a global this and that. But the global blackness, that's fake. That's only in America when people want to tie onto our stuff. But once there's full delineation where resources are directed to the people, the harm group only, you're going to see people abandon blackness out of nowhere because they can benefit from it. They're incentivized. They're encouraged. Yo, when they come over here, immigration tells them, like their handlers tell them, hey, fill out this and click that button right there. You have to click that one. It says Afro. It says Black American, African. Click that. If you don't get that, you're not getting housing. So they're encouraged to do that. That's not something that's internalized. They say, hey, we're black. No, man, that's a whole farce.
You're wrong.
Peep something. Real quick, Ron, that I figured out. Ron, you know, I checked some of the documentation you was talking about the other day. I checked my mortgage document, my mortgage application. I checked job applications for some people that I'm looking at hiring. You know the question about race It says black or
Right.
African American. They don't have to choose black.
Right.
But they're making it seem like they have to.
Yeah, but both operates as a race. Right. Both. Right. But like you said, but that's a great point. It says or. So why are they black but not African American globally? Like where's the my thing is what I'm saying to Chief. It says or. That means they're like kind of synonymous. Like you could pick either or. Why are they black and not African American globally? Like that doesn't make sense. Both are used racially. But that's a trick bag for us. When people say they're black, they know black Americans are going to feel like we're involved. Okay? If they said African unity, they know our psyche does not resonate with that type of terminology. It never did. They tried during Frederick Douglass time. See, the thing is, V4 and people listening, people just don't know our entire history in that word African. How we ran from that word historically. We didn't want nothing to do with that.
Yo, Ron, even they, can I read this quote from Nelson Mandela to help prove your point?
Go ahead.
For the brother Chief, I think it was, who didn't believe Nelson Mandela said that. I just looked it up. In his book, Long Walk to Freedom, right? It's in the 3rd chapter, I believe, of the book, page 38, 33 to 38, depending on how the book setup you got. Verbatim quote. He said, I was a Xhosa first and an African second. I did not see myself as part of a grand national movement, but as a young man from the Transkei who had a duty to his chief and his people. I was provincial in my outlook. I thought of the world in terms of Thembaland and the Transkei, and I looked upon Africans from other tribes not as my people, but as foreigners.
Right.
Nowhere did he describe himself as black.
They don't do that, man.
He didn't even. He looked at himself as African second. And then I'm gonna say this. He said Thembu, right? Thembaland. That's because he's from the Thembu. All right, you got the tribe, and then you got the clan. He's from the Thembu. The Thembu is a subgroup within the Xhosa tribe. He looked at himself as Thembu first, then Xhosa, and he looked at all of Africans as foreigners.
Right. And that's why I'm telling you that, look, Chief doesn't know, like we know me, bro. Chief, I've been researching this blackness for a long time, my guy. And that's why I tell you, exonym, right? Outsiders call you names. That's white people call the people of Kemet Egypt. The people of Kemet would have never accepted that terminology. Right? They go around the world renaming people for their own convenience. I just told you, my guy, about Walter Plecker, right? He just renamed indigenous people and said they're Negro.
Mm-hmm.
You think they accepted that? And by the way, Chief, they do it to steal from you or deny you or continue to exclude you. We have a historical history in this country of being excluded from tangibles, right? Now, Homestead Act, 1862, excluded. 1933, HOLC, Homeowners Loan Corporation, excluded. You got the FHA, excluded. You feel me? The New Deal, excluded. GI Bill, excluded. All the early welfares, I forgot what it's called before TANF, but excluded from that. Where's your stop? Okay, it's okay. Here, stop. Where's your spoon? Here, it's okay, man. Here, okay. So we have been facing exclusion. We've been excluded from every imaginable tangible, even TANF. That's welfare, by the way. We were excluded from that, and we were gaslit as the welfare queens, as though we were excluded from that. They did the man in the house rule, my guy. Only for us. No other ethnic group ever to go file for welfare was told the dad can't be in the house. It was just Black Americans. Go Google it right now. The Somalians, Hispanics, the Africans, they all can be a family. I know for a fact. I worked in property management. I dealt with families who was on welfare, low income housing, and they because when you're in property management, you know everybody's business. That's the point. You get state welfare, right? And we got to verify stuff. So as the property management, right? Our records got to line up with what you told them, or you're done. So, but we've been excluded from everything. So we are facing a paper genocide in 2026, 100 years later, but it's more of an ethnocide. They're erasing our ethnicity. So for indigenous people, they reclassify them. They're not reclassifying us. They're reclassifying others to us. So they brought the indigenous people to another box. They're bringing everybody into our box. So they're not erasing us. They're flattening us. They're diluting us. And once you're diluted, you're not owed anything. It's a different way of paper genocide, but the effect is the same. Nothing is owed to you. That's why Edward Blum is suing everything moving under black. So this global blackness doesn't exist nowhere, because guess what? If it's a race in America, it's a race in all white T society. So if you're not allowed to be black with tangibles in America, you're not allowed to be black in the UK with tangibles. You're not allowed in no European ran environment as black with tangibles. You're excluded. So that's why I say there's no global blackness. Africans are African. We are Black Americans. Haitians are Haitians. And if we want to be a global anything, it's going to be global something else. Global melanin, global African ancestry, whatever else. But it will not be global black. These people do not internalize blackness at all.
They definitely do. They definitely do, because blackness was created at the same time whiteness was. Whiteness is not real. Whiteness is not, but they define that, and to go against that, you have to have the polar opposite of white, which is black. The Latin word for black is negrum. That's where you get the derivative of negro. That's where you. This all means black.
No. Hold on. Let me get him. He just dismissed what I said earlier. Fact. He went to a definition.
I didn't dismiss it. You're right. I didn't dismiss it. What I'm saying is you're ignoring the generalized version of white in these people's minds. And if you are not white, then you're black. That's why the indigenous could be natives could be black. And that's why in Latin America, even if you have dark skin, you got straight hair, you not Afro, then you are still labeled black.
They didn't call family. This is called revisionist. And brother, write this word down. You're being anachronistic. You're going back in time. You just said black. They were called Negroes. That's the epitome of being anachronistic. You just gave a modern term for people who didn't call themselves that. What are you talking about? You're exactly.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying they had to call themselves that. I'm saying their oppressors did.
Hey, bro.
We're the only ones that fully accept it.
The conversation is them break.
Before he's not listening.
Yeah.
Listen, I sat there and let you talk. As soon as I start saying no, I listened to everything that you said.
I got you.
What are we talking about?
So why are you saying they were called black? Never in history they were called black. They were called Negro. What are you talking about?
Negro means black. What are we talking about? I speak fluent Spanish. Literally, I promise you I do. It literally means black. The Latin word.
Wait, hold on.
Latin word is negrum. What are we talking about? That means black.
I got you. So Negro means black, right? And we call ourselves black. So what does black mean?
What?
Yeah.
What are we talking? You lost me. What?
Right. So they were called Negro, and Negro simply mean black. We call ourselves black. What do we mean?
We mean our culture, because at the time that it was derived, there was no other black people here besides us. Now that there's massively globalized black people,
would you agree? Would you agree that? First of all, you're still saying the X on them. So would you agree that they were called?
Because that's what it is now. We can't build a specific identity. We can no longer. I actually say that.
We
can no longer build an exclusive ethnic.
He's bugging. Hey, bro, hold on.
Out of here,
man. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all talk, but if I'm not gonna have a chance to literally talk what I'm saying, then the conversation is dead.
No one has their own.
The conversation is dead for me, because I sat here and I give respect to everybody when they talking, but as soon as I talk, everybody wanna come in.
Look, I'm gonna go on mute. Go. Start from the beginning. I'm listening. Go, and then I'll wait my turn. Chief, start over. V4 respond, Truth responds, and I'll respond last. I'm going to mute.
No. I'm cool. You talk, and I'll go on mute again because it's just crazy.
I'm gonna go on mute too.
Ask you, do you realize that black and Negro are two different words?
To us, to the globe, it is not. When you go to Latin American countries, they use Negro for their black population there. What are we talking about? In Honduras, you go there, they use black for them. That's Negro.
So you just proved that they use the word how they mean it, correct?
Yeah, because the Romans took over the whole world with their Latin languages. What are we talking about?
So how they mean Negro is the same thing as how we mean black?
In one way, because we're black three ways. We're black ethnically, racially, and nationally before 1964.
So
that, but you know what? Okay, Chief, hold on.
Well, hold on. You do realize you just acknowledged that the black that we use is not the same as the Negro they use, right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm not against y'all. Y'all want to team up and be anti-somebody. I'm not against what y'all saying. I'm just saying it means more on a global scale. We use it three ways.
That's irrelevant. You just
it's not irrelevant. How the fuck are we going to say that we can build an ethnic and exclude people from black? Meanwhile, in their home countries and home cultures, they use black too, just differently.
Who said that? Who said that we want to do that?
Is Chief? Are you Pan-African, Chief?
No, I'm not.
Wait, Chief. Chief. Who said we wanted to do that?
Define that.
What you just explained?
You said build a black homogeneous group.
Who said we wanted to do that?
Okay, no. I want to understand. I want to make sure that you're comprehending what I said. So repeat it back to me.
You said you wanted us to build a black homogeneous group across this globe.
No, I did not. When did I say that?
You said you just said we cannot. You in response to him, you said that way we cannot build a black homogeneous group worldwide. That's what you said.
No. I said we can't build on an ethnic identity around black on a global scale, meaning we can't. Is our nation going to be black? Is our food going to be black? Is everything that we do going to be black? Wait.
Our nation is black.
Hold on. No, we have soul food. No, we have soul music. It's our because the United States of America, as we know it today, was set up to be a white supremacist nation. We
what
are
does that have to do?
Hold on. Let me explain it. Damn. If not, then I don't gotta talk. What the fuck? This is annoying.
Stop being a little bitch, man. Come on.
No, you being a little bitch by keep interrupting me.
Hold on, relax. Let's give Chief. Look, let's do this. Hey, Chief, relax. Everybody relax. Let's give Chief 2 minutes of uninterrupted time. Once his 2 minutes is up, the next person go. You dig? That's why I went on total mute. Because he was right. I was cutting in. All right. So, Chief, I apologize for that. So let's relax as far as emotions. You know, we're dialoguing. Like, we're brainstorming. We're all trying to find solutions to our dilemmas. So, this is we're think tanking. You dig? All right. So, Chief, 3 minutes, uninterrupted time. Once you're done, let Truth Teller respond, and then you can respond. But Truth Teller cannot respond again because you are the common denominator. So you get to respond, and then V4 goes, right? And then you respond to that, and then, something like that. But you get to respond twice because you are the target. Sorry to say. Go ahead, Chief. Did he leave?
Go on.
Okay. All right. So now he's gone. So I want to finish still. So let Truth Teller finish his thought, right? And don't be too long-winded. And then let V4 go in. Go ahead, Truth.
Sure. Yeah. I honestly, me and V4 is probably in agreement with this. He's stuck on Pan-Africanism because everything he references according to black is to make everybody else black so we can have some kind of group empowerment. And nobody here agrees with that. Everybody's talking about black, what we call ourselves, And then he's referencing that being the same as Negro, what some Hispanic slaves called themselves. Well, their meaning for Negro is not the same as our meaning for black. But for some strange reason, he wants to make it the same so we can have some homogenous group of some kind. I don't know why he thinks that's what we think. We don't agree with that. So his whole point is disingenuous at that point.
Yeah, before.
Yeah, I think he was being intellectually just disingenuous, because he did state that, I can't remember exactly what Truth Teller said. He responded to exactly, but he said that way we can, and that way we won't be able to build a black homogenous world group. Something to those words he said.
Right.
That's what made me ask him if he was a Pan-Africanist, right? And then another reason why I believe it was being disingenuous is because, right, he acknowledges that it's specifically dealing with Africans, right? They see themselves racially black last as when it comes to self-identification. So he's arguing, if he understands that intellectually, you're arguing against what you know the facts to be. How could you think of a worldwide homogenous black group when the majority of the individuals who are racially black in the world don't see themselves as black lastly? Thirdly, for an example, when Truth Teller mentioned soul food is black, he says, no, that's not black, it's soul food. But if you ask anybody around the world what is soul food, they're going to say that's black people food. When they say that's black people food, they're going to be addressing black Americans solely.
Yeah. So let me say this. You have the first black musician, the first black guitarist, right? Now, that's a chief. That's all you got to say in the world. No, we're talking about black Americans. There's no such thing as a first black person. That person's Nigerian. First black somebody, and he's Jamaican. They're the first Jamaican. They're the first Nigerian. So I see where he's coming from. But he that's why I say V4, get a TikTok, Truth Teller, come TikTok. Because some people have ideas and they're okay, but they need to be challenged correctly. TikTok do not have scholars, right? So that's why I say, hey, let's come to TikTok as scholars. Now, Chief don't know us, but he gonna learn who we are, right? Okay. We are scholars, my guy. You're not dealing with lightweight here, but you are a brother though, right? So we embrace the conversation. But you kept dismissing, and everything we saying, you could just chat GPT, right? You can see that there's application of a word and there's definition. You went to a transliteration definition, and I just told you that when the Portuguese went around calling everybody Negro, they weren't just simply saying these are a dark version of us. Okay?
I think
they were saying that these a darkness to them was equal to inferiority. So it was not just a color. It was more than the color. There's other dark people across the world they didn't do that to. All right? So they knew who he was going after, but even when Truth Teller tried to hold you to something, you acknowledged that these people call themselves black racially. They're saying Negro, and but listen, Chief, don't go to Brazil. Brazil deal with a color spectrum, right? That has nothing. First of all, they don't even consider themselves. It's called. I'll give me a line about the terminology, but if I go to my studies, they call some of the P. They call themselves different names there. I'm talking dark people. All the Afro-Brazilians do not call themselves the dark terms over there. They even differ because that's classism, right? They differ. Some dark folks go under a lighter classification. So it's not even color based over there. So when people do the Brazil thing, like V4 said, they're being very disingenuous, or they just don't know what they're talking about. See, but over here, we know what we're talking about. And we will, if we need to, we'll go to AI. You dig? Because I'm not gonna, oh no, you saying, oh no, let's go to a tiebreaker. The thing about AI, the chat GPTs of the world, I like them because they explain. They don't just give you like a broad, vague definition that's concise. They actually explain why this is the case. Okay? Mm-hmm. So those people call themselves black because of their oppressors. I said that 1,000 times. He refused to acknowledge that. But then if he acknowledged that, that means that means that you're saying your oppressor naming you something is credible. Now, he said the world see you as, no, they don't. The world don't see us as one homogenous black group. The world sees Nigerians as Nigerian, and they see those South Africans kicking their ASS, kicking them out the country as South Africans.
You know what, Ron? He's Pan-African. He just don't want to say it. Or at least I'm going to say this. At least he's been indoctrinated with Pan-African ideology, but doesn't realize it at the least, because what you just said right there, with also on top of the fact that when I mentioned what Nelson Mandela said, he couldn't believe it. Right.
Right.
I think what we're saying or what you're saying is it rocks his worldview based on the Pan-African ideology.
Yeah.
That's all I can see, because he said, I can't believe he said that. Like, bro.
Right.
I went right to Gemini and asked for the page in the paragraph, and it brought up the exact quote.
So look. So he kept saying black. This is why I asked the sister in the last panel. I said, sis, she kept saying ethnicity. See, hey, Chief, the difference between me and most people you talk to, when I say words, I can define them. When people say words, they can't define them. So people are saying ethnicity. You're saying ethnicity. I don't think you know what that means. Because ethnicities are unique to a particular small group. It's not a broad category. All right. So I can't be ethnic something and so is somebody from a different country. No, we're not ethnically the same. And I explained that earlier. So when he's saying black and using ethnic and somehow tying into Africans globally, I'm like, yo, then you throw away the word ethnic. Once you tie in other people without the same experiences, the same cultures, the same food, the same language, bro, you're adding people who are not ethnically us. Ethnicity is specific, is unique, is not broad and unspecific. So y'all gotta really start defining the words that y'all use and understand them. I learned that from Malcolm X. Getting a dictionary, reading it, and making sure you know what you're talking about. Because I was there too at one point. I was use words, and I'll get challenged on it, and I didn't know it. So I said, you know what? Let me stay within my vocabulary. You dig? I said, I learned my lesson. It didn't feel good. I said, all right, let me stay within my vocabulary. So going forward, every word I use, I make sure I looked it up. I understand it. I know what I'm saying. I know how to use it in a sentence. Ethnicity is specific to that group. We are ethnically black. Jamaicans are ethnically Jamaican. Igbo are ethnically Igbo, and guess what? Hausas are not. The Hausa, right there by them, are not ethnically Igbo. They're ethnically Hausa. Fulani's ethnic. They're different ethnic tribal groups. That's common sense. I don't know how we even arguing about that. So to sit here and say everybody's black for unity, you don't got to do that, my guy. For America to unite with the UK, to unite with the French, to unite with whoever else, they're not all just white. No, they're French, they're American, they're UK, they're German. We could unite with Africans being Nigerian. We don't all got to be called the same thing. I mean, and if so,
he's trying to come back up. Right.
Okay, my fault. And if we're called the same thing, if we call the same thing, then it would be a new word. It won't be somebody's ethnicity.
In order to call us all the same thing and merge us all into one group is to deny each group its own particular history and experience and culture.
All right, let him go. Everybody go on mute until he gets finished, because we said we had a lot to say, unlimited time. Let him take as much time as possible, and when he lands the plane, just let us know. And there you go, Chief.
All right, I'm on. Cool. What I'm saying is, first of all, was Marcus? Yes, he was a scammer. I'm not a Pan-Africanist. I'm very proud Black American with a very, very educated family, generationally educated myself. First off. Second off, yes, we are Black three ways. I wrote a whole college paper on this. I can post it. I will post it when I find it. We are Black three ways. We're Black racially, we're Black ethnically, and we are Black nationally. because we were denied citizenship throughout this country through multiple centuries. We know. What I'm saying is, when they went around the world and defined themselves as white and made a whole hierarchy on it, these were not, first of all, these were not English-speaking Europeans. These were Iberians. These were the Portuguese and the Spaniards. When they went around and made that caste system, this global caste system that the whole world accepts, regardless if you are black or you are a type of African, if you have dark skin, a dark pigmented skin, you are racialized as black, so that way they can be racialized as white. So when they went around and saying all these other groups of people that could be labeled as closer to white than they were to black, that's what they accept them as in these countries, specifically in this country. That's why Latinos and Arabs are considered white here, but they are not considered culturally white or ethnically white. What I'm saying is, yes, to my point, when you go around this world and you visit, especially Latin American countries, especially Latin American countries, they have a designated group of people that are Negroes, because they don't really consider them African anymore, because they're culturally whatever the nation is. They're culturally Brazilian, but they're racially black. Brazil's caste system and racialized system is preto for black. You have indio, and then so forth and so forth and so forth. Pardo for mixed, and so forth and so forth. So I'm saying, yes, we have defined black in our own unique way because we were in this country. We were the only designated black people in this country because the natives separated themselves from that Negro identity and they rejected the whole American ideology and ways and stuff like that. That's why they're sovereign nations. What I'm saying is, now that the U.S. is the global superpower post World War II, the way that this country views blackness has been exported across the world for positive and for negative. And we see it all across these ways. That's where the Afro-Brazilians or Afro-Dominicans, Puerto Ricans are standing up. And then they're like, the white people or the non-black people in their countries, like, why are you making everything about race? It's not America, yada, 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 yada. Because it has been exported. So I'm saying in this present day, we have to get away from black a certain bit. If we're talking about delineating, then that means that in certain ways, we have to delineate from a blackness in itself, not the blackness, not all blackness, but one of our blacks we give up to define ourselves as whoever we're going to be, whatever we're going to be. When we finally get a state, right, and not seceding from anything, but just our own cultural state, it's not going to be, or at least it shouldn't be labeled as black land or whatever. No, it should be our distinct name. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I don't even know. I heard you out. Preto, right? I did all of that. First of all, every dark Brazilian don't even go under preto, right? That's a color caste system. That has to do with caste systems. They don't. These guys nationally call themselves Brazilian or Afro-Brazilian. These guys don't run around saying I'm preto as a collective.
Ooh, in their country they do. Yeah, they do.
Wait. Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so now you heard that, right? So I'm driving, right? So I'm gonna pull over. I already did this research. I'll do it again, all right, for you guys. So I'm gonna say what I say. I'm gonna land my plane. I'm gonna go to the internet, to AI, and I'm gonna show and prove that these guys collectively do not call themselves preto. There's certain parts of Brazil that does, but it is not a unified nothing identity. I already know this for a fact, right? I'm the king of the word black. Now, by the way, he's saying preto. Preto, last time I checked, preto ain't black. You have preto, which is a Portuguese word, and you have black, which is an English word, okay? You have Igbo, that's an African word, right? And you have other words. What we don't do is say, oh, I'm in America now, so my name is now this. No, you're still that. So Juan is Juan in Mexico, he's Juan in America. He's not John because he get here. So preto is preto in Portuguese, it's preto in America. You ain't black. Sudan, by the way, means black, my good friend. But they call themselves Sudanese people, and their country's called Sudan. They got a Sudan flag. Nowhere they go on earth do they reinterpret, oh, well, actually Sudan means black, so we're in America, so now we're black. Or the English-speaking country, so we're black. No, they're Sudan everywhere they go. That's not how that works. Just like we're black where we go. If we go to Portugal, we're not Preto all of a sudden. If we go to Sudan, we're not Sudan because it means black. We call ourselves black. That's an endonym, and we put the definition to it. It has nothing to do with color. Prince is light as a damn Chinese person. Okay?
But we don't give ourselves that name black. Somebody else gave it to us and we redefined it. But when it was given to us, it was because of our color.
Okay, bro. No, we were called Negro, my guy. Okay, now look. Now you chimed in.
Means black.
Okay. No. You can't do that in sociology and anthropology. I just explained application. We were called Negro, a generic term that had nothing to do with the color.
We
were lightest. Okay, hey, bro. Listen, bro. You right. And the my guy. I just said 1,000. Look, the bottom line is this: that you have no sources. You have zero sources you can point us to show us that Negro when white people you go do that. You go do that. He has no sources where Negroes when Portuguese call people Negro and it simply meant black, dark-skinned human beings, and they're the light human beings or white human beings. He's lying. When they said Negroes, it was I just explained that to him. You application dictionary definitions does not define a people. Right now, we could call ourselves gold. We could call ourselves pink. And guess what? The pink definition won't apply to us. It will be whatever we say it is. That's an endonym. I explained that to the guy. He claims he's educated. I don't know. But endonyms is a word you give yourself. We could say Solon. We could say Friedman. We could say black. We can say Adolf. They all mean the same because we identified ourselves the same. It don't matter what we call ourselves if the definition is the same. We don't use black as a color. We use black as a cultural experience. It's the name of our ethnogenesis. Everything from chattel slavery to now, we call that black. As a matter of fact, my guy, black is actually an evolving endonym. It started off one way, it evolved, it picked up, Malcolm X time, it was one thing, it picked up in the 80s, it changed in the 90s, it kept evolving, and it's something different in 2026. It never had a preset definition. It evolved with our experiences in this country, where we became the exclusive people that are black. Now, white people, that's why I asked you, I said, when was black recognized federally? You didn't know. 1977. That's after we called ourselves black. So here, we talk. He don't listen. He talk. We listen. So, bro, listen what I'm saying to you. We called ourselves black. We defined it. It had nothing to do with our skin color. Okay. Dr. Martin Luther King gave a short speech on black, how he's embracing it. He acknowledged black historically had negative connotations. He said, but white people don't get to define the black when it's applied to people. And he said, I'm black and I'm beautiful. Before then, it was taboo. He wouldn't accept it. Okay. But he embraced it because of the black empowerment movement. Black people started to realize this is a word and we redefined it. We're the only people on earth to do that. Everybody else, when they took on Negro, they took on the definition of the oppressors, which was negative. Nobody, who would do that? So black to us became something positive, and it was exclusively associated with our histories in America and nothing outside this country. So that's why nobody has an ethnically black culture. Let me playing it. I keep saying the same thing over and over, and it ain't resonating. I don't know why.
Because I'm not disagreeing with your point that we are ethnically black, of course, but it means it. Okay. Anyway, missionus.org. Negro. The word Negro was born from Romance languages, French, Spanish, Latin, and Portuguese. It literally means black or dark, but its usage as a description of people dates back to Spanish colonization. Spanish colonial casta or caste systems hierarchically categorized European, Native, African, and mixed race populations in North and South America. The term Negro gained acceptance in the late 19th century with the promotion of black activists like W.B. Du Bois, and Booker T. Washington. Harlem Renaissance writer Langston Hughes, affirmative of the use, affirmation of the term, and the celebration of the race is evident in this piercing line from a 1926 essay. Why should I want to be white? I am a Negro and beautiful. So, and then it just keeps going on. If you want to look, missionus.org. One source. So this is born from the Spaniards and the French.
Right. Because what you didn't do. Go ahead.
Wait, what happened?
Can you ask it a specific question for me?
Sure, go ahead, ask it.
Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you, bro. All right, so he went away. I don't know what. Okay, Chief, I'm talking to you, and it seemed like I'm not. Right. When I'm talking, no matter how convicted I am in my stance, I listen. I stay sound reasonably. Right. I listen to you. I heard you out. I really don't think you hear me out. You're not speaking to what I'm saying to you. I keep telling you, there's a definition of a word. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to ask whatever you got to ask. Ask them when, and you're using the word black, which wasn't used, by the way. It was Negro. All right. So
I literally said Negro, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You ain't listening. I literally started.
Right.
The word Negro was born from Romance languages, French, Spanish, Latin, Portuguese, and it literally means black or dark.
So, right. Okay. Now, ask this: when it was applied to people of African descent, how was it applied? Was it applied just as a color, or did it have negative, inferior, derogatory definitions to it? Applications to it.
It had negative racial connotations for sure.
Okay, so hold on. So that means it far exceeded just a color. It had. So now, if you look at Negro in Spanish, study Spanish. Okay, you can speak Spanish by studying
Spanish for sure.
All right, I got it. Yeah, but the average. Okay, let me ask you this: how do you say God bless you in Spanish? If somebody sneeze, you say what?
Salud.
Right, but don't that mean God bless you in English?
Yeah, in a way.
Okay,
yeah,
the translation, right? Yeah. But is God in the word salud at all?
No.
Or bless you? Right.
No.
Because so let me explain why. So speaking a language is different from studying a language. The average Spanish person speaks. Wait, you didn't know that? Wait, you didn't know that? The average Black American, the white American speak English, but they don't understand double negatives. So yeah, so hold on.
When you study, of course. All right.
Right. Well, it's not a course, because when you study a language, you got bird to mouth, right? Where a parent tell you kids on what to say and how to say it, but that don't mean they understand adjectives, pronouns, nouns. Okay.
For sure.
So when you study a language and not just bird to mouth, you understand it better. You could break down words and words never heard before. You could put together and understand it better. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So Spanish people that speak Spanish, I had these conversations with them. I study language, my guy. The conjugation, all that type of stuff. They just say it because it's natural, but they never understood how these words are put together. They never knew that. Okay. As a matter of fact, for an English person to study Spanish, it's required you master English first, or you're not going to understand Spanish grammatically, the way it's taught in textbooks. You got to master the English language first. That's a prerequisite. You can't be slow on English and then learn Spanish. It's not going to happen. Not in textbook style. Maybe bird to mouth. So what I'm saying is,
you study language in school, or you just studied it independently?
Independently, Greek and Spanish, okay, and English, all three I study. Like that's what I do, right? So anyway, there's literal definitions, like salud means cheers. That's a literal definition of salud. It has nothing to do with a sneeze.
Salud means health.
Okay, it means cheers too, right? It means cheers.
You can use it as cheers.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Okay, so watch this. So why do they say health after you sneeze?
Because back in the day, you would die from diseases.
Which one?
Shoot all of them. Malaria,
Bruh,
the
it's
common
the
cold.
bubonic plague, my guys. It's the history go back to bubonic plague. But anyway, so now that I say language,
And before the Black
no,
Plague, they were worried about malaria. They were worried about other diseases.
no, but that was mainly that was mainly
For
black
sure.
plague. But anyway, my point is when they say salud, the actual the translation in English. This is what I'm saying to you, bro. In Spanish books, the translation in English will be God bless you. They're telling you that this is their version of God bless you, right? So
Because
what? Okay, so,
American English, the
okay,
literal translation is good health.
okay,
Like, okay,
right,
have good
okay.
health. But
But you're
because
missing a
after we sneeze,
but
we
you're
say
missing
God
right,
bless
but
you.
you're missing a point because you're doing what we said we was doing. You said when it was our turn to talk, we kept cutting you off and you was crashing out. So now you're doing it to me. I'm saying what you're saying, but you're ignoring the other version. I'm saying there's a literal definition and there's an applied definition. So to Americans who trying to learn Spanish, when we sneeze, they say salud. We say what that means. They'll say God bless you, but it doesn't. It means good health or cheers. Okay, that's because that's the literal definition. So in words like Negro, there's a literal definition, black, color, and then there's an applied definition, inferior slave, black guy who's cursed. So with all that being said is when they call us Negro, that's not a term of endearment. That's disrespectful. Is what I'm getting down to. When they call us Negro, it's a disrespectful word. That's why nobody on planet Earth say I'm a Negro. Everybody rejected that and stood with their ethnic name that was already there. Okay.
But what I'm
So we
saying is
did.
that's not true though.
Okay.
Fully,
Yeah.
that's not true.
Okay.
Fully.
Okay. So give me an example of anybody on Earth saying they're Negro as their ethnicity.
Look at any Negro person in Latin American countries, and they're gonna say they're racially un negro. That's what they're gonna
Bro,
say for
I
sure.
just said ethnicity, my guy. You missed that?
Ethnicity is no. We're the only group of people because ethnically they would be Honduran, ethnically they would be Dominican, ethnically they would be Cuban, etc., etc. But that's what I'm saying. We're not disagreeing, but y'all
Wait,
just want to disagree with
no,
me.
no, no, no.
Ethnically, we're the only group of people that's black. What I'm saying is
Okay, look.
that's
So stop,
problematic.
wait, stop. So I'm saying we're agreeing. So I'm saying like let's keep agreeing until we don't agree. Okay, so we agree there. Okay. So now you agree that when black is applied racially, right? Because black was not there. It was Negro first,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. So then they started to say everybody. So instead of saying anybody Negro, they dropped that and say everybody's black, right? Racially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is the timing. I'm saying they dropped black. I'm sorry, they dropped Negro and picked up black when we picked up black.
Facts.
So
That's facts.
okay, so they was trying to keep the disrespect going. What I'm trying to say, the sabotaging, they were trying to keep that going. So we said, hey, we're black. So, for example, when we were black ethnically in the 60s, we were also Negro racially. The black race didn't exist. So we were black ethnically, and
back then we were Negro ethnically. They would say Negro music, Negro people, Negro.
No, race.
Our race was Negro.
Right, but it wasn't our ethnicity, my guy. Listen,
It
what I'm saying to you.
was.
No. Hey, bro, listen what I'm saying to you. How can the outside people give you your ethnicity? You're missing that part. That doesn't happen nowhere on earth. They gave us our racial word, Negro, colored. These are generic terms. That's why you just said Negroes was something applied to everybody. Ethnicity
Facts, because they erased our ethnic
bro,
name.
slow down and listen for a second. Ethnicities are not global, right?
Facts.
Okay. So Negro was not our ethnicity because Negro was thrown everywhere globally. You just said Negroes in Brazil, Negroes indigenous people, Negroes all over Africa. So Negro was a racial, all-inclusive term, is what I'm saying. When we said we're black, that was an ethnic term. We were talking about ourselves only. Okay? Only. We didn't consider Africa, the Caribbean, the diaspora. Are we following? So now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so after we use black as an ethnicity and redefine it as a positive endonym, whitey people 17, 18, 20 years later classified that word, they disregarded it as an ethnicity, and they classified it as the new race. Black as a race replaced Negro. They disregarded an ethnicity for us. We never. So according to them, we never had ethnicity until African American in 1989, 1990. So that means all of our existence in America, we never had a ethnicity that they approved of until Jesse Jackson. By the way, he was backed by them. Okay, they helped push African Americans throughout the papers, right? And then that was co-opted in 2000s. That was now changed to a race. So black and African American both has evolved to a race plus ethnicity. But the fact it's tied to a race, the ethnicity part don't work. It don't even matter because Ed Blum sues that, right? So, and that's why immigrants of African descent come over here can be black and African American. They both are a race. They kept erasing our ethnicity. I brought that up with the indigenous people. They were indigenous. They erased their ethnicity and gave them a flat Negro race term to steal from them. So what I'm saying is now with black, they took away black as an ethnicity, made it a race. They took away African American ethnicity, made it a race. So we don't have an ethnicity right now, according to the OMB. We don't have one. We're just flat black African American people. And going with that terminology, nothing can ever happen positively for us. So while you're saying everybody's black globally, we're like, oh, hell no. That word is taboo. It's horrible now, right?
It's been horrible is what I'm saying. We took the best of what we had and made something, but we didn't come up with black.
Hey bro,
that
listen,
was
bro, we did. Listen.
We didn't. We redefined it, right? Black power. We took it back, but we didn't come up with the term black.
Don't matter. It's an English word. It don't matter. It's an English word. We could call ourselves turtles. We ain't come, bro. There's no English word that has a definition we're gonna come up with. Okay, so let's stop that. All right. So whatever word we come up with that has a preset definition is not our word.
That's not true.
Okay.
Finna, so, we made that, and that has a
which one?
Finna. We made up that word, and it has a meaning to it.
Are you serious, bro? You talking about slang?
Yeah. I see, but you just said it was slang. That's a word. That's a word. And if Black America had its own Ebonic dictionary, it would be in there with a defined term. Cool. I'm saying,
and if wait, hold on, start there. Wait, don't run, don't start right there. And if black had their own dictionary, wouldn't black not mean a color? Wouldn't it mean a people who?
Well, I'm saying, I mean, in my case, it wouldn't be. No. In my case, it wouldn't be called the Black American Dictionary. That's my whole point. Like, it would be called whatever our ethnic name is.
I didn't say it was called that. You just he just cooked himself. He just said black people have the right to come up with words and place their own definition. His example was finna. Okay? So I said, hey, what's that? There's not a dictionary. Black people made up. I'm like, well, damn. So if we can pull a word out of existence and redefine it, then we can pull a word in existence and redefine it. That's what endonyms are. I kept talking about endonym to you. Somebody who's supposed to.
I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying I think that that's a wrong move. I think us trying to gatekeep blackness now is foolish because just like you said, when we were given black, it was dirty, it was disgusting, it was this, it was that, it was this and that. We still carry that in our language and how we view certain of black features, black hair, black, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're not meaning that in a positive way. If we get away, like we can try to be super idealistic and say, yeah, we do, and we da. No. I'm outside every day.
So why you didn't say that from the beginning?
I've been saying that. We just want to we wanted to keep going back and forth on the historic meanings of it and who I'm saying it's still not positive.
Hey, bro, the way you said it just now, that's not how you said it earlier.
I disagree because I disagree. I mean, y'all wasn't even hearing me. That was my whole crash out. Hey, bro, y'all kept interrupting.
Hey, bro, you said that in 3 seconds, my guy. It ain't enough time to interrupt. The way you said it just now, that made more sense than all of what you said prior to that.
I don't know. But
I'm telling you,
I'm happy that we have an understanding now because we've been saying the same thing.
So if that's your angle, okay. So if that's your angle, I don't necessarily disagree all the way. I feel like I get what you're saying. Okay, so I don't disagree. 'Cause I felt the same way like that. Yeah, but I wish you'd have said that earlier like that, because then I wouldn't have did the whole spell, and it wouldn't have mattered. Because I get where you coming from now. Okay, so but even with that, then it's still why are we saying the black global world? Then? Because if the word is fufu, then it's fufu. Like then nobody
because now black is associated with African. Just like white is associated with what? Just no, wait. Okay, wait. What is white associated with? And don't be crazy. What is white associated with?
So white associated with white Americans.
No. Well, okay, before that, what is white associated with? European, yes or no?
No, because
come
I don't
on.
recall.
You're
I don't recall. Out of like whitey people in the UK, Russians never call themselves white. I don't recall.
They do. Are what?
No.
Now they do. Are you crazy? Because there's non-white people in Britain now.
Are you, bro? First of all, let's start right here. I teach kids, international kids, hella Indians, hella Russians, hella Africans. No, Russians call themselves Russians, my guy. They never say they're white. They say they're Russians.
That's crazy. That's
okay. Hey, bro. Hey, family. This dude is. I know for a fact he has never met Russians intimately. He's never met them.
How you know that? I'm from Los Angeles, California, one of the most diverse places in the whole country. My family's in the San Fernando Valley.
They say they're Russian. They don't
of course they do, but if we put them in a room full of non-white people racially, they're going to say that they're white.
Nah. I don't get that from them. You just made that up.
Okay. Then you haven't spent too much time around Russians. Then, as you say, okay. There is an allegiance and a loyalty to whiteness globally, whether we want to believe it or not. The Australians, they consider themselves racially white, white, ethnically Australian.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so now let me take you here because this matters. Now, I agree with some of that stuff. Okay, now, so for those who cannot classify as racially white, right? They might be racially black. When they come to America, don't they align themselves with the racially white people over us? Okay, so now what I'm saying is those people who you're calling black, when they come to this country, they distance themselves with anything black, and they accompany themselves with everything white tea. Got it? Now, this is why when they come over here, it could never be unity, especially those from Africa, like preferably West Africa. They come here on a contingency that they stay away from us. Their whole visa, their whole stay here is contingency that they don't link up with us, don't join our movements, marches, nothing. They mind their business and go to work. True or false?
Yeah, facts.
Okay. So they wouldn't call themselves black because if they call themselves black, they're aligning themselves with the real black people. That's why they say, I'm not black.
Facts, because they're in our country now. So black means what we have defined it.
They don't call themselves black in their country. We just went over that.
To a certain right, because they are majority black. But what I'm saying is, as a nation, especially, I mean, Nigeria is not a good example because there's pretty much no non-black people, or I'm sorry, non-African people living there. I think South Africa would be a better example. Morocco would be a better example because they have non-African people there. Bro,
they call themselves, okay, we had a couple of South Africans come on here, bro. They say I'm Zimbabwean, and they tell you what tribe they from. They don't say they're black.
Okay, because Zimbabwe is its own country, but for sure, because
tribes there.
Of course. So the tribe is first. Is first.
And what's second? Nationality?
The nation, 100%. And then after that, it's African for sure.
You're right. Third, and then what's fourth?
4 is the newest one, which is black.
Right, but they didn't even get that far. Like there's no need to
which 100% because black and white is new world terms. We're talking about old world when we talk about Africa and Europe and this and that. The new world is what I'm saying. No, wait. Hold on. Let me finish, because I'm saying this new world is white and black, meaning anything in the Americas, anything that got colonized and people came to, whether forcefully or willingly came to, we use terms white and black. We use terms like that, is what I'm saying. If you go to other countries that were colonized by other powers, they are going to use white, black,
No, you're not.
mixed, et
No, you're
cetera, et
not.
cetera. I
They
promise you
don't. They
they
don't
are. I
treat you. No,
promise
you're
you they
not.
are. I've literally been
They
to
don't.
these countries. I have.
Okay.
I've
It
been to
doesn't
these countries and
matter.
spent intimate time
It
here.
doesn't matter.
I
That's
definitely know what I'm
anecdotal.
talking about.
That's anecdotal bullcrap. They call themselves by their tribe, their
You
nationality, and
still
their
talking
top
about
West African
Africa?
party.
I'm not talking about.
Where?
I
We
just
talking
said that
about?
that's old world. I'm saying
We
new
talking
world.
about? Okay,
What do
where?
they call
Where?
themselves in Brazil? What do
Okay,
they
I
call
just told
themselves in the Dominican
Preto,
Republic?
Preto, and they call themselves
And what does
mulatto.
preto mean?
Okay, that means no. It's not about meaning. We're going back to
Ah,
that,
you
my
just switched.
guys.
You just switched the whole
Hey
argument.
yo, hey
What
my
does
guy.
preto mean
Hey bro,
in their
they use.
language? You
Hey
can't
my
say
guy,
no. It's not black because black is English. If
my
you got to
guy.
translate it.
I just look. So here's your problem. Your overall conclusion about black. I said okay. I see what you're saying, but your explanation or the evidence you're grabbing is silly. Uh, in Brazil, they use a color caste system. You got white people, white who's not really white, because you have darker people saying they're that. You got the yellow class, and you have not just white people saying yellow. You got the darker people who you would think would classify as preto. They're saying they're the yellow class. So it's all over the place. There's no real system where the dark people are preto and the light people.
That's
There's
not true.
no. Okay, I got you. So what I'm gonna do? Let me pull my thing up real fast on you. I wasn't gonna do this for you.
Nah, we just got to disagree. Disagree.
No. Hold
There's
on.
nothing that you could prove to
I
me
got you.
that what I'm saying is
Well,
wrong. As
listen.
when
Yeah,
I'm
but
a
I don't.
literally
It,
now at this point a world traveler at this point, and
that's
I
the
speak
thing.
multiple Latin languages.
Okay.
There's nothing that could be
Yeah,
said.
that's the thing, my guy. The difference between me and you is that I don't try to convince you. I understand people can be biased. People can stay in stuck ways. So what I do is, because I'm an educator, I get paid to educate. I speak through you. I use you as an example to speak to my people and the people listening now and in the future. I don't try to convince you. I talk to you. I talk through you. Okay. So once I feel like you feeling right now, hey, let's just change the topic. Okay, cool. But what I was going to do, what you ran from, I was going to pull up how the Brazilians speak to themselves in the color caste system. They do not use preto as a national origin. He's
Of
lying.
course not, because
Okay.
they're Brazilian. But race relations was handled different in Latin America than it was in the United States. The best example, which I have roots to, which I'm connected to, would be Louisiana. If we're talking about color and this and that, and how you can erase blackness and evolve to be something else, that didn't happen in the United States. So you had octoroons, people. The one drop rule did not exist in Latin America. It didn't exist in Louisiana to a certain point. You could erase being black. So that's where, to your point, what you're saying is, yeah, you got dark white people, yellow people saying white, because the indoctrination was different. But the root of it was black was bad, white was good. And the more that you strive to be white, the better it is for you. The difference is here in the United States, we had blonde haired people, blue eyes that had one black great grandparent still have to be considered black. Plessy versus Ferguson was a octoroon by today's accounts who challenged the fact that he didn't want to be in the back of the bus because he's white. So, or that's what he saw himself as. But because of the one drop rule, he was still denoted to being black. Now we're culture. Now it's cool to be black. That didn't just happen all throughout the time. Now it's acceptable to be black. Before that was not the case, is what I'm saying. So when you go to examples like Brazil, you are going to have people who have to be designated as preto. They have no choice because they're super dark pigment. They're super dark skin. They can't move up the ladder unless they breed out. That's what I'm saying. And then boom, I land.
Yeah. Nah. No. That's not so let's get this right. So who calls them wait, so who came up with the color caste system? So you agree it's their oppressors, right?
Facts. Our oppressors, 100%.
Not ours. That we that's not our oppressor. That's their oppressor.
Okay. The Europeans are our oppressors in general. All of them
So,
bow to
bro,
whiteness. Spaniards are considered white.
hey, bro, there's no monolithic European, my guy. There's Europeans that was involved in the Haitian rebellion, and there's Europeans who were not. So no, like
Huh?
again, was all of Europe fighting with the Haitians?
No.
Right. You had like you had one European group and a second one try to come in the back door and try to take advantage while they were fighting. But
Right.
that was
And you had the Polish help them.
okay. So what you
They
had,
helped the Haitians. Right.
but it was mainly France. It wasn't all of Europe. So what you're doing, right? That's why people call you a Pan-African, because Pan-Africans, what they do is they say the white man as a collective, like
Because to a certain point, whiteness is collective. It has to be. It's recessive. That was the whole white supremacy. When we say white supremacy, we're not just talking about white Americans, because the French are, I mean, they have supremacy over Africa, over France,
hold on.
over Haiti to this day, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not saying that we should be concerning ourselves or go ahead.
Just get some background. So you familiar with the transatlantic slave trade, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Who were the buyers and sellers? I'm just curious.
Listen, I already know all of this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want background. I don't know who I'm talking to. I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to know what you agree to, what you would deny. So just real, if you know the buyers and sellers, just tell me, and then we move on. But I want to know. I want to see if you're credible, if you're honest on history before we go further, because we're missing each other, and there's something there, and I'm trying to single it out. So when it came to the African, now this is the fact you're not answering is already like just as good as the bad answer. So who were the buyers and sellers in the transatlantic slave trade?
The buyers were the transatlantic slave trade. The buyers were the Europeans. The sellers were the Africans, for sure. Specifically, the Malian Empire. Specifically, the Doheny tribe. Specifically, the Songhai tribe. Specifically, the Igbo. 100%. I can go into depth. I have multiple degrees as we speak and still in school, so I'm definitely educated in what I'm talking about.
No. I just want to know. See, you did what I thought you'd do. Now you specify. See, family. What he does is, when it's a European, it's all of them collectively. That's a monolith.
That's not true. I said that the Polish helped. That's not true. I said that the Polish helped the Haitians.
Bro, you're doing to me what you said I was doing to you earlier. Every time I get a couple
but you can't generalize and what I'm saying. Honestly, demonize my whole point. That's not true. I never said.
I'm showing a pattern that you do, which is Pan-African pattern. When it comes to white man, he sees them all as one. He don't specify like he just did. He don't delineate the white man like he just did with the Africans.
That's not true. That's literally not true. I said the Spaniards. I said the Iberians. The Iberians are the Portuguese and the Spaniards.
Why are you?
Those are Iberians. I said black is an English word. What are we talking about?
Control yourself. Earlier you were saying, "Hey, you guys won't let me talk." You just got done. I listened to you. I heard until you stopped.
All right. You're right.
You did exactly what I thought you would do. That's why I asked you the question. He's a Pan-African in denial. Pan-Africans, when they speak of white people, they usually talk about them like they're a monolith. They rarely ever separate them. I asked him who was involved in the slave trade, the buyers and sellers. I knew he would not just say Africans, leave it alone. I knew he would be very specific, very detailed. But when it comes to the whitey man, as he said earlier, he just grouped them all together because they're whitey. Bro, all those African nations you named, they were all one African nation in cahoots with the slave trade. Even though they're different tribes, they were all in agreement that this must happen. This is the benefit. This is the best.
That's not true.
What's not true?
What you just said, that every single African tribe was
the ones you
involved,
named. Or my guy. Now you're being silly. I said the nations you named, my guy. I said the nations you named, they all agreed that this must be done. This is good. Right. So they acted as one. So we don't got to delineate them like you did with the Europeans. We could say, hey, these Africans agreed that this was necessary evil. It needs to happen, right? The same way you keep lumping up white people all in one, because you're saying they had this one agenda. Well, they did too. So I'm not going to separate them. They all had the agenda. There's our part of it. These West Africans were guilty. All right, now we can move on. But I knew you would do that. And again, like, you got a lot of love for Pan-Africanism. No problem. Because I don't believe, that's a bad thing. I don't believe Pan-Africanism is a horrible thing. It's an ideology. It could be good or bad. Depends who's implementing. Yes, that's not my angle. But anyway, so okay, cool. So we disagree with Black a little bit, because your conclusion, like your evidence of why I don't like, but your conclusion, I think, makes sense. All right. I think you ignore some things, but it doesn't matter. But your conclusion, I don't like the way you came to it. Is that okay?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I think I'm gonna say it like this. I'm a proud Black American, very, very proud, and I'll go against anybody in this world for my people. And that's 1,000%. And I know our history. I studied our history. I'm very passionate about us, and I don't care too much about anything that is detrimental to us, that I feel is detrimental to us. And I feel that us hanging on to Black and fighting over it and wanting to hog it is detrimental to us, because at its roots, the way that Black is looked at globally, however we want to say, yeah, we have ownership over it, fine. We have, but it's still looked at as bad because of global white supremacy, whether we want to accept that or not, because it seems like some folks up here really, really think that the Europeans like them or will accept them, but that's fine.
Man.
What I'm saying is,
Pan-African.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, I said the language.
No, it's not. I'm just saying. Okay, listen. Wait, hold on. Listen, hold on. I'm saying I think holding on to Black in every way and being stingy with it, even though I think we should let it go. I think we're way too creative. I think we're way too special to settle for Black. I think we will be settling for Black. That's all I'm saying. And now, if people want to debate who gave it and who has ownership, I don't really care, because I want us to move away from that anyway, because let's not act like when we say Black hair, sometimes when we say it, it's not seen in a negative way. Black skin, Black this, Black that, it's said in a negative connotation. Now we have those of us who can separate and have not Black hair, not nigga hair. Like, it's crazy, the stuff that we say, the stuff that I hear is honestly ridiculous. So what I'm saying is
negative, though.
What happened?
Who would view it as negative?
What was viewed as negative?
I said, who would view when we say Black? Who are the people you think would view it as something negative in 2026?
Some of ourselves, us as a people, and
you
outside
think Black Americans see Black? Nah, bro, stop. That's cat.
Nah, yeah, I mean, listen, no. Listen.
There's a whole song we sung. I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm Black and beautiful.
110%, 110%, because we're talking about our culture. But let's not act like every single Black feature is respected. We're gonna sit up here and act like that. We're gonna sit up here and act like there's not a huge colorism, texturism, featurism problem in Black America.
Wait, hold on. Hey, 1 second. Let me answer that real fast. I'll let you go. Nah, I'm not saying that, bro. But I'm saying for those Black Americans, or whatever we want to call them, Solanians, when they look at their nose, they don't look at it as a Black nose. They look at it as, this is a broad nose I don't like. Look,
that's crazy. And I would expect more of you if you saying that you educating our youth. And you and you in a Black area, then you being dishonest right now. If you saying that every single Black feature is respected. This is crazy.
Can I just jump in on this one?
Last thing, hey bro, if anything, they're gonna look at their nose as African, not Black. I'll land right there. Go ahead, True.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about when you talk about Black and how Black is seen across the world. We're very popular, by the way. And then you reference how some Black people who don't look too well on themselves, so I guess they see something wrong with Black. But my question is changing the name from Black to something else going to fix that?
Yes, it's going to help fix it. Absolutely, it is, because the root of Black was given to us in a negative way, whether we reclaimed it or not. It was given to us as a diss.
But all the things you described that people had a problem with Black won't change if the name changes.
I
So what's the
disagree.
point of change?
I
What
disagree,
point
but
of,
it's also not
give me
about
one.
them. I disagree,
Give me
but it's
one.
also not about
Give me
them.
an
It's about
example.
us. It's about us. I'm
I
saying it's about
understand.
us, how we look at ourselves.
But you said we should change it because of how everyone looks at it. That's
No,
what
I
you
said how we look at it
Jesus
and how
Christ.
everybody. I said we too. What are we talking about?
We're black people. We don't have a problem with being black.
Okay.
We?
All right.
You mean everybody else?
Okay. I'm just gonna assume you're not really outside. I'm just gonna assume you're not really listening to the music. You ain't really tapped in like that. That's just what I gotta
What do you
assume.
mean listening to the music? My man, I'm older than you. I don't know what you talking about.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be, because you're not connected.
Yeah,
You gotta be. You from a
What do you
different
mean I'm
era.
not connected?
What are we talking about?
My man. I grew
That
up
was
in
funny.
Queens, New York.
Queens get the money. Shout out
lived
to Queens. What are you talking about?
I lived in Miami for 20 years.
And
You
both
ain't
places are
telling me
colorist
nothing.
as heck, are accused of being anti-Black American and super colorist, super futurist. And those of us
So
that
what that got
cannot
to do?
pass
So
to
how
anything else.
is being black? So how did black cause that?
You're being dishonest. You're being dishonest, and you're
Well, I just
purposely being
asked you,
facetious.
my
And I know how to
man.
spell it too.
I asked you a direct question. Don't dodge. How is black the cause of that?
You know, if you don't know that, I'm not going to answer.
Don't
That's
tell
a
me what
crazy
I
question.
know. Answer the question.
That's a crazy question.
No, don't
How?
tell me it's crazy.
Because the people who denoted us as Black.
So all the problems we have, the discrimination, the colorism, that's going to go away if we don't use the word black. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it will help remedy it. I'm saying that's a step in the right direction.
Talk to me. How?
I'm
Explain
saying.
that one. How is it going to help remedy the discrimination we face in this country by changing our ethnicity from black to something else? How is that going? Give me one example and tell me how it's going to change.
Because Black is seen as bad, as negative, as anything. If we're saying Black, when people say Black people a lot of the times,
I don't think you're Black American.
Wait, hold on. See, you
I don't
interrupted.
think you're
I'm
Black
answering your
American
question.
now.
You interrupted me.
I don't think you're Black American now.
Oh, you're foolish. My people come from Biloxi, Vicksburg, Mississippi, and Opelousas,
Yeah,
Louisiana.
you can say that all you want, but
generations.
No
what are we
black
talking
person,
about? My family migrated to LA in the 1920s, late 1920s. I got generational records. Please don't disrespect that.
Listen, man, I ain't never met a black person.
You the one from Queens. Are you Caribbean?
Mom, I've never met
before your family was in Queens. Where were they? Now I
No,
gotta pull your
my
car.
mother was.
Let's not go
Now I
that
gotta pull your
far.
car.
Hey, hold on.
My mother was born in Queens in 1943.
Wait, hold on. Let's not do that. Let's just go with the assumption, because none of us really know about each other unless we so genealogical records. So let's just go with what we say.
And I got mine. I'll say it like that.
I'm just saying, let's just go with that. Now you can say truth. You can say that's questionable, but let's not say we're not, because you're not looking at his records.
Okay.
He ain't looking at yours. He ain't looking at mine.
Questionable. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So how is changing the name from Black going to stop discrimination? You still haven't answered that question.
I did. Are you going to let me finish? I think that you should mute yourself, because you have no self-control when I'm talking.
I'm waiting.
You have no self-control. You have no self-control. So if you can't say I didn't answer something that you interrupted. That's
I'm waiting.
crazy to me.
I think he's gathering his thoughts. Yeah, I actually like Chief. Yeah, I like the pushback. I like the confidence.
Well, hold on, Ron. I'm still waiting for the answer to my question.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel comfortable answering until you mute, bro. Every time I talk, you interrupting, and then you saying I'm not answering something. So mute yourself. Mute yourself. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, you tell
so
her.
this will change. Thank you. I'm going. I got you. This will change because the status of Black people, and I won't go global because that's controversial. That's fine. The status of Black people in this country is looked at as it's a negative status because of oppression, because of this, because of that. But before we have blackface, matter of fact, I can just say that we literally have blackface that was linked to minstrel shows that is not seen as good light. They purposely made our skin a mockery. They put the red lipstick. I mean, the modern version of a clown is rooted in blackface. When somebody puts on blackface, that's not celebrating our features. That's not celebrating our high cheekbones, our da-da-da-da, our da-da-da-da. No, they're making a mockery of us. So what I'm saying is, if we can move away from being just black people, black American, black this, black that, which I'm very proud of, but I'm saying it shouldn't be the be-all, end-all is what I'm saying. We should have something else to fall back on. When we finally do get a state of our own, it's not going to be called black. It's not going to be called that, because I'm going to push back on that tenfold. I'm going to be a part of the party who doesn't want that to happen. It's going to be something else that's creative, that's unique, that's our own. Black is not our own. It's only our own. However we want to argue about it, it is not only our own, because we did not come up with it. We did not name ourselves that. We reclaimed it and we revolutionized it, of course, but we did not come up with it. And I think higher of my people, and I think that we can finally name ourselves from something that we come up with. That's it.
So my only thing with you is that, like, some of your conclusions be sound and rational and reasonable. I just think you need to work on your points. That's my personal opinion. I think your conclusions be okay.
Ron,
I won't even push back but I just think you need to just support them a little better. That's all.
I respect that. I take that. Thank you.
If I do it, he's gonna tell me I'm lying. Do you remember what my question was, Ron? After he just said what he said,
you said how is changing the name.
Wait, hold on.
You said how is changing the name going to help?
Can you go on mute?
Okay.
Can you go on mute, please?
I got you.
Can you go on mute, sir. Sir, can you go on mute now? So, Ron, if you remember my question and you just heard his answer, was that the answer to my question?
I don't think so, because I think kind of
ta-da.
TV like that. Y'all gonna double team me like that. Y'all gonna double team me like that.
Hey, Chief, I only say that because no, because truth. Tell them how we do. Like, we be going at it. So my name is Unbiased Ron. If I disagree, and sometimes I get cooked too, and I bow down, but you got it. Like for example, when truth was true. Like when I was saying Africans got kidnapped, it was true story. I keep saying true story. It was Truth Teller who is the one who convinced me that the better way to frame it is that we were enslaved. He's like, yo, because that involves kidnapping. That involves everything I'm saying. So I was kind of like,
but some of us was kidnapped though.
Hold on. Right. But they were kidnapped to be enslaved. Like there's a purpose to be kidnapped. It was to be enslaved. So anyway, what I'm saying is I was hell bent on kidnapping. I didn't want to bow down, but when he kept drilling it, and I'm like, you know what? That is better framing. You know what I mean? So I'm just letting you know that I'm hard. I'm stuck on my positions, but I could be shaking off my position, like with some good argument. Now, the only problem with you that you said that did answer his question was he was asking how by changing it. You said, well, blackface. Well, guess what? I thought about it. I said, well, guess what? We could be called Salon. All they're gonna do is paint the same face and call it Salon face. So
no, I disagree though. I disagree because we came up with that. So it's linked to soul food. It's linked to soul music. That's something that is beautiful that everybody copy off of. They trying to claim our music and our food abroad. They trying to claim it. They generalize it as Southern food just so they can claim it. And that's white people. That's white people that do that. So I disagree with that. The roots of soul is rooted in something beautiful, rooted in something that we have ownership of. So when they do it, it's not even going to be looked at as negative. I'm not saying, of course, that they can't dress up as mockeries, of course. But I'm saying we control that narrative because we came up with that. Go ahead. They still control black because they still control white.
No, what you say makes no sense. If they can control the narrative,
it definitely makes sense. Right. You might not agree with it, but it definitely makes sense.
Here, this is why it doesn't make any sense. First, you said we don't want to use black because they use black, and we redefined it. So because we redefined one of their words, we shouldn't use black. And then you said if we change our name and stop using black, it will correct a bunch of stuff. And you name discrimination, and you name different practices used against us.
I said it would be a step in the right direction. I did not say it would fix it.
I mean, you gave examples, and those were the examples you gave. So don't try to step back from them now.
I'm not stepping back. You said it. I said it'll fix it.
Right,
fix it and remedy is two different things.
But it won't fix it because those things were done not based on what our name was. Those things were done because they were trying to attack us. And what Ron just said is right. No matter what our name is, there's going to be attack and discrimination. So changing it is fool's gold. Why would you put so much effort into
because it's also not about them. It's about us. It's about how we look at ourselves. And if you, and again, I think you told on yourself as well when you said that you come from a different era, that you older, and that you this and you that.
So here, 110%.
I'll ask you a question. I have pictures of my grandparents, all of them, with afros for their high school graduation. Are we doing that? Did we keep that? Did we keep that tradition? No. Is as we literally just had a viral moment going around where there's a black person that said Afro hair is civil rights hair. What are we talking about? I volunteer with the youth. I know what these kids are saying and how they look at their futures.
My man,
they're Black
everything
American.
you're saying right now has.
So what are we talking about? Just because you graduated in the 70s where Black power was at its highest does not mean that that's translated to now.
I didn't graduate in the 70s.
What are you talking about?
He's being funny, yo.
Yeah, I didn't graduate in the 70s.
Well, you from a different era. You were old cat. What are you talking about? You wore the afro in your high school graduation picture. We didn't.
But what does that have to do with what you said? I know it was funny.
Because black features are looked at negatively, bro.
So then, how is changing the name from black to something else going to change that? Are we not gonna have the features anymore if we don't use black?
You're seriously ignoring the harm that was done under the term black. You're seriously ignoring that.
You mean like the term that was done under freedmen, and the harm that was done under Negro, and the harm that was done under mulatto,
but the
African American,
the name itself, freedmen.
We want to get rid of them too.
The name itself, freedmen, is rooted in something that's powerful that can mobilize us. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot of us that are not mobilized to vote a certain way, think a certain way.
They named us freedmen.
So
we didn't name ourselves that.
Exactly. Yes. My point on why we should still finally name ourselves. But you said
that's good. So that's good.
Freedman is better.
Black is bad.
In my opinion, freedman is better than black because
it's associated. People.
Of course.
The same people they discriminated against and made fun of were freedmen. So is that bad too?
Freedman face.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Y'all want to stay with the funnies. Y'all want to stay with the funnies, but y'all not understand. But y'all are purposely misinterpreting and misunderstanding what I'm saying on purpose.
No, wait, we're not.
Just for a laughing point. Yeah, y'all are. And I think
that's why. No, because I had this. Dishonest. No, because when I look at black, I kind of like had your same conclusion, but I had different arguments to support it. Even when you said, okay, so now when you say a brand new word, I actually agree with that because I came to that conclusion. I said, because Igbo, that's a word that nobody ever used. They put that together.
And they came up with it. They have ownership of it. That's fire. That mobilizes them. And a certain ethnic pride that we don't have.
No, I'm with you. Desalini said we're Haitians. Like he came up with the name. So look, and the Eritreans, right? So these are words, these are names that was never used before. They're virgin words, and they only apply to the people who came up with them. So I actually like that because I came to that conclusion as well on my panel, on my live on YouTube. I said, hey, we're probably better off coming up with a brand new word that don't have a predefined preset definition. We got like you said, finna. Finna could be our name. Hey, we the finnas. But but something like that where it's our word, it's our definition. When you say that word, it only could mean us. So I agree. When you say black, even though we disagree, but racially, some other folks could fall into that. I'm with you on that. So, but I'm saying right now, so that right there will probably be the goal. Like, so you say you move to a different land, different place, we ain't using that. I agree. Like, we probably gonna drop black, but we gonna want our own name, our own vowels and letters that we put together that we say, hey, this is us. Like like the Tut language, right? Who can say, hey, that's my language? That's a unique language that only we can say is ours.
We've been saying the same thing this whole time. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I'm saying your arguments to support it.
And now Truth Teller like it because you said it. See, this is what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. I'm saying your arguments to support with your conclusion, I don't believe are sound and they could be debunked. That's what we were doing. So I'm saying, like, if you was to really go into like better circles, get off TikTok and get back on YouTube and go into better circles and argue that black stuff, like you'll get pushback, and that pushback is going to help you strengthen your arguments to your conclusion. I'm telling you, that's what happened with me.
You want me here? I can give you something that'll help you. It'll be wise for us to change our own ethnicity's name so that we can have a separation from the other groups far easier and effectively.
I said
and
that
we can
earlier.
establish.
Oh, my mama, I said that.
We can hold on, my man. Your discipline is falling apart, and we can use it. We can use it in our fight with as a legal standing. We should not use it to try to forget what our history is and hope.
Yeah, that's the wrong reason.
It changes our view, people's view of us.
That's what you were implying.
It changes people's
I
view
never
of
implied
us.
that.
No,
No.
he actually
You
said
concluded
it would
that.
change. It would change people's view of us. Yes,
You did say
you
that.
said it several times.
I did. I said that it would help. Yes, I did say that. I said it would
Yeah,
help.
okay, so there's no reason for you to speak right now. You're good. So I just gave you a couple things that might help you in
But I
your argument.
said two of those
but,
things.
But the flaw in your thought for a name change is to actually hide from your heritage and lineage.
That's not true. That's not true. I pushed
That's a
back on that
problem.
tenfold.
That's
That's
what
not
it
true.
is.
That's why I was.
That's not
that's
true
why
at
I was
all.
really fighting it.
That's not true at all. You thought that.
and
I'm
dodge.
saying
Well, you
we
did.
have to be futuristic. We can't be stuck in a place.
No, you
I
did.
said we have
No, you
to
didn't.
move forward. That's what I said. I said I'm for the progression of my people. That's what I said on everything I love. I said I'm for the progression of my people.
the
You
major
were so
reason
hell
you
bent
gave-
on misunderstanding
Sorry.
me that you couldn't.
The major reason why you gave it is because you said black people don't like themselves. So we should change the name so we can like ourselves better.
Because of how the world views black
what the hell are
features
you
or
talking
African
about
features
now?
or whatever we want to. I mean, I don't know. Okay.
Type in the chat. Okay, go eat that first. Hey, the critic, you want to hop back on? Send an invite. Or was that a mistake? Hop, you know what I mean? Send an invite. No, yeah, but like I said, trust me, Chief. Like when you just sum it up, I think you're better off summing up and then trying to support it. But when you like use the evidence first, I don't think it lands the way you think it lands. I don't think it directly connects to your conclusion the way you think it do. That's why we were like pushing back so hard. Like, yo, what that got to do with that? And then like you're saying black has this ugly representation, but then you're calling people black globally. So I'm like, so why are you using it as a global term? Like, I'm just confused.
Because honestly, because you know why? I'll answer that. Because in my head, and this doesn't make me a Pan-African, by the way, but in my head, black, and to a certain extent, wait a minute. No, wait. Because look, y'all already purposely misunderstanding me. Hold on. To a certain extent, because remember I said, and I literally wrote a paper on this. Matter of fact, because since folks don't really believe that I really
go ahead, articulate.
I'm a pull up my actual paper on it. But
I'm trying to hit the logic though.
What I'm saying is we're black three ways, as I've already stated multiple times.
I agree.
Okay, three ways: racially, ethnically, and nationally. To a certain point, I'm saying about the racial term. This is what I'm saying. My next statement is about racial black, not ethnic black.
But it's ugly though, right?
I'm saying racially across this world, black and African to me is synonymous because.
But you know it's not though, right?
Ethnically, I know it's not. Ethnically,
no.
Nationally, I know it's not. Nationally, ethnically, I know. Racially, I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know.
In no ways, you could Google that. African is a word for people who were born in that land, have a culture, have citizenship to a country, have a flag, have a language. That's what African is. Black is a racial term that throw everybody in that bucket.
So do you think black Brazilians or Afro-Brazilians are black?
Racially, by the definition of the black word racially, they would be black racially.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but what I'm saying is from what I'm hearing from you, which is driving me crazy, you're saying black is an ugly word. So I'm saying then that applies universally. That means it's black. It's ugly.
The root of it is ugly. I don't view it as ugly. The root of it.
But you saying it's ugly enough for us to drop it. So I'm saying watch this. So I'm saying if it's ugly ethnically, then it's ugly racially, then it's ugly nationally. I'm saying ugly is ugly. Like how is it beautiful racially but ugly ethnically? That's the part.
No. I said no. You got it flipped. I'm saying it's beautiful ethnically. It is deemed as ugly racially. We made it. We beautified it. We
Nah, I
revolutionized the
got it,
word black.
but you were speaking outside of it though. You said outside of our perspective on black.
Yes,
You were
yes. It
saying
is viewed as negative. Yes,
right. So that means ethnically, nationally, and racially is viewed as that, which apply to
correct. Which
people.
is why
Okay,
some of us are still anti-black, even though we
okay,
are Black American.
okay. So what I'm saying
What?
is, following your logic, if we should drop it, right? Because ethnically, right?
Mm.
Because it's seen as ugly, then that logic should follow. So why are we calling people that ugly term then? Why are you calling people of Africa the ugly term black? That you I don't that's the part that's making me go crazy.
And this might from y'all definition, because y'all are hell bent y'all are hell bent on certain ideologies, or I'll say fixated. It's a unifying thing. I'm not saying we should just be flat blackness, but what I'm saying is, in this globalized and racialized world, and the way that Black people or African people, African descended people are hated worldwide. And if we disagreeing with that, then there's no basis for us to keep debating this. But African people or descended African people, dark skinned people, and not every dark skinned person is of African descent, but I'm just saying,
Oh my
is
god.
is is looked at as inferior, or looked at as dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. It's a bad connotation to it. So when we, as a ethnic group, exclusive ethnic group, are labeling ourselves as that, I think that we are putting ourselves in a trick bag, that to where oh no, Black people, no, they're this, they're that, but the Nigerians, yeah, they're smart, they work hard. Well, they still might be seen as racially African, but
Telling you, bro.
of the connotation of the word black, they're looked at as a little better. And if y'all gonna sit up here and say that that's not happening, then I question where you guys are located in the rooms that y'all are walking into, that
Oh,
we're not seeing this happen in real time.
I'm curious about a couple of things though, and I want to try to understand how you understand this. You said black is ugly. How did it? How is it
I
ugly,
said
and how
black
did it
is. I
get
said
that
no, no,
way?
no. I never said black is ugly. That's what I'm saying. Y'all be too. I never said that because I'm a
What did you
black person.
say?
What are you talking? I'm a
Sorry,
black
sorry. What did
man.
you say? Right, right. What did you say?
I said black is seen as inferior, and certain features are not desired, and yada yada yada.
Ugly,
I
bro.
never said just flat black is ugly. That's crazy.
Okay, so you say the word is ugly for the ethnicity, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why is the word ugly for the ethnicity? What makes it ugly?
Because it's we're more creative than that. Besides all the this on all the historical the history of the term black, we're more
Give me
creative.
some. I need you to
We
give me
can
some of
come up
those
with
details,
something
though.
way better than that. That's crazy.
I get you. Hold on. Before you go into your synopsis, I need you to give me those details. What makes it ugly? What in history caused it to be that way?
The transatlantic slave trade.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's
Well,
reason enough. Capitalism.
they didn't actually use black back then. So
They
when did
did.
black become
They
ugly?
did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I
They
can
didn't use
I'm
black
sorry.
man.
Maybe
They use
literally
Negro.
log into JSTOR, which
Oh my
which
god.
has all academic articles and stuff like that, and I
But
can
they
prove it to
used
you.
Negro.
uh,
They didn't use black man. Nobody spoke.
And we already
The person
said
you didn't speak
Negro
English.
is the Spanish word for what?
No,
And you
no,
said that
you
you study
cannot. Hey,
language. No, no, no,
bro.
no. You said that you study
But
language,
you
so you should
cannot.
know. And you said that you study Spanish, so you should know that Spanish comes from
so
Latin. It's a
okay. So
Latin
hold on.
language,
I'll clarify. So they didn't use black back then. They used the Spanish term Negro.
which
So
is
when did they?
black.
No, it's
Well,
no,
that's what you're saying. No, it's not. That's a different language
no.
and has its own meaning.
No, it's
So
not. That's false.
once it started to be used here in English, either in the colonies or once we became a country, how did it become ugly then?
Because we were legally classified as slaves, chattel slavery, which was a hereditary status, meaning your mama, your daddy, your grandma, your granddad, the baby, the great grandbaby, et cetera, was going to be slaves for at least 3 generations, 3 centuries, which can. So that's why it's seen as ugly.
Okay, so our history makes it ugly. Is that what you're saying?
That's a general term, so I don't like it because that could that's too general. I'm saying.
What do you mean general? I thought it was very specific.
Because our history with it is beautiful in the same way. Once we retook
well,
it.
No. I'm just asking you to explain to me how it's ugly. You gave me an example.
Okay, well,
you described our history in this country.
Part of our history makes it ugly because of the transatlantic slave trade, because of the
anything else
status of being black. Yes.
All right, and anything else that makes it ugly?
No.
That's just it. Just how they treated us made the term black ugly.
I said the transatlantic slave trade. I said capitalism, and I said the hereditary status of being a chattel slave.
What about capitalism that made? What about capitalism that made black ugly?
What about it?
Yeah. What in capitalism made black ugly?
It was backed by our labor, which was slavery.
Oh, you mean slavery? Oh, okay. So you're referring to slavery. So not necessarily capitalism making it ugly. Our history in this country.
I actually took it, Origins of Capitalism, last semester, and my professor is actually a mentor, wrote multiple books on it. I can actually tell you the book if you would like to take a look.
Not necessary. You can just tell me how it makes it ugly.
Because our labor backed capitalism. we backed the whole system of it, specifically Black Americans, specifically New World enslaved Africans. Yes.
Chattel slavery. Okay. We referenced that already. Okay, cool.
For sure.
Anything else?
No, I said it all. I said
Okay. So basically our history is what make the word black ugly. So we don't want to use the word black anymore because we have an ugly history.
See, no. You see, I knew you was gonna do that, and that's why I had already pushed back on it. You
am
twisted
I wrong
my words, and you know that you just twisted my words, and I feel like you're calling me stupid.
Maybe I'm off. Help me understand.
No, you gotta be off because I never said that.
Yeah, correct me.
Like that.
How am I off? Please.
Yeah, but you were correlating.
Y'all are crazy. Okay, never mind. Matter of fact,
no, correct me. I need you to correct me. I might be wrong with my conclusion. Tell me how I'm wrong, please.
You're generalizing what I just said.
Right. How am I generalizing?
Because we're the victims of this whole stuff. I mean, I'm confused. I don't understand. So why would we black codes, right? That's after slavery. Black codes was how Jim Crow. That was introducing Jim Crow. Right? Those are negative codes that stifle black wealth. That stifled black entrepreneurship and black political power that's what stifled it. So it's a I won't say losing, but
so just so you know, black codes.
Backtracking.
So black is the ugly part, codes is the okay part.
Oh, okay. You're foolish because no, the code itself, the result of it is what's ugly. I'm not specifying a specific word or that.
But you're saying because they called it black codes, that's what makes black ugly. So am I wrong with that?
You are wrong. You are wrong. You're purposely.
So what did you
mean?
Why'd you reference? All right. So why'd you reference black codes? All right. So why'd you reference black codes?
Which is super.
I got you.
Frustrating.
Why'd you reference black codes?
Why do you think I reference black clothes? I'm confused. What do you think? You're smart enough to obviously generalize.
No, not if you're confused about what
so you got to be smart enough to synthesize.
Well, I do have a conclusion, but you're not going to want to hear it. You're gonna be insulted. So I'm not going to share it.
No, I think you should. I mean, I'm insulted that I keep talking and for then all my talking points are misunderstood. I think that's insulting. I think you saying that I'm not a black American is insulting. So we've already crossed that bridge.
I'm sensing indications that you don't like black people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're a fool. You're a fool.
Okay. You asked me what I concluded.
No.
And I appreciate. You want me to give you the reasons why? You want me to give you the reasons why I conclude that?
Sure. Go ahead.
Because when I asked you to identify what makes black ugly, you literally named the history of Black Americans in this country.
No, I did not.
Everything
I named the subjugation of my people. I never said that. I said
that's our history.
I said when we retook.
You want me to finish explaining it, or you gonna keep cutting me off until you hear everything I have to say?
I don't know.
You literally named our history, our strife, our struggle, what we had to fight through, everything that we had to go through to be who we are right now, as what makes the word Black ugly.
Because we did not create it. If for example, if we came up with, matter of fact, I don't even want to say no. If we came up with, for example, Tut, right? We came up with Tutnese. We came up with the language Tut. If our identity was Tut way back then, or Gullah Geechee, or Creole, which I'm actually a part of that subgroup.
You do remember
wait,
that?
Wait,
I asked
hold
you to tell me.
So what I'm saying, no, hold on. So what I'm saying is, if our ethnic identity was Tut, then you would never hear me say Tut is ugly. We should move away from that, because that was popularized by us. We came up with that. Whether you like it or not, we did not come up with the word Black. Somebody else came up with it and gave it to us. So that's what makes it ugly. I think you don't like Black people, if I'm being honest, because you don't think that we're creative enough, intelligent enough to come up with our own language. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not crashing out. I'm not crashing out. I'm retorting. Well,
I do want to remind you.
And I think that's what happens in academic circles when you're learned.
I want to remind you of something. I asked you several.
Integrous.
You gave me 3 examples, none of which were we didn't invent it for ourselves. I kept asking you, are there any others? I asked you like 4 times.
No, I said that. I literally said that we're creative enough to come up with something. I literally said that.
Listen, people are listening. I asked you 4 times.
We can play it back.
Else?
I know people. I mean, it's important. You said.
You gave me your reason. I did an analysis. I analyzed and I summarized.
That's not true. This is fake news.
I said it back to you for confirmation. You told me I was wrong sometimes.
This is fake
you told
news.
me I was right sometimes. I said, hey, any others? I asked you that 4 times. Any others?
Is fake news.
Any others? Any others? Not one time did you say, well, we didn't invent it ourselves.
I did say that. FBA News.
Now suddenly,
that's not true.
It's ugly because we didn't invent it ourselves. And I pointed out to you all the examples you gave were a knock.
And you're being daft on purpose.
Sir, why are you spazzing out? I'm still speaking.
You're being daft, like on purpose. I think that's kind of crazy.
Well, why are you spazzing out, my man? I'm not
spazzing out. I promise you. I think I'm just.
Well, then let me finish speaking so you can.
No, because you're lying. You're literally lying. I never.
He's lying about what?
He's saying that. Let me tell you how he's lying. He's saying that I never said that we didn't come up with it as a negative reason on why we should move away from that. I know that I said that. I know that I said that we're way too creative to just be stuck with Black. I know I said that.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, then. So his whole argument is crazy to me.
He said it earlier on, but I asked him specifically, give me some examples of what makes.
You just got caught in your lie.
Okay.
You just said that I never said it. You just said that I never said it, though.
Hey, Chief, look.
No, I didn't.
Hey, Chief, look, Chief, look. He's experiencing what I was experiencing from you earlier. Sometimes, look.
I think this is crazy.
Let me explain. You can't look
because I'm literally saying all this stuff that y'all circle back to later.
Chief, hold on, Chief. You would think you would be interested in what that is, right? Not just Okay.
No, because I already know what y'all saying. Oh, you're cutting him off.
What I said earlier was this. I said sometimes you are better off just summarizing. I said when you start to like explain things, sometimes it don't draw the conclusion you think it's going to draw. So I think that's what, because you did me like that. You confused me. And I thought you were going somewhere and you weren't. Like you went somewhere else. I'm like, I can agree with that conclusion. But sometimes I think when you lead us to the conclusion, it don't lead us to the conclusion. It leads us somewhere far from the conclusion. So when you said earlier, hey, we are too creative to not come up with our own words. You said that earlier. But just now what he's saying is, you didn't say it like that this time. You said it in different ways, different words, and you caused the confusion again.
But I shouldn't have to if I said it earlier. And that should already be understood in the argument.
My point isn't actually that. You didn't say it at all, actually.
And he's lying because I did say it.
Wait, when I asked you clarify what ugly means and give me some examples, you only referenced our history.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
I said
The
capitalism.
slave trade.
I said
Right.
the heritable status of being a chattel slave. Yeah, I
There
definitely
you
said
go.
that because that
That's our
shaped the modern
history.
world. That
And
shaped
I
the modern world.
summarized that right. And when you said it, I summarized it back to you. I'm saying, so are you saying that our history is what makes it ugly? And you kind of flailed a little bit.
I didn't
You said a
flail.
few
I said,
things,
that's a
and then you gave us
generalization, and I
some.
don't feel comfortable saying
Right,
that. I didn't flail.
but
I
again, that
literally knew
wasn't a
what you were trying to do
generalization.
because I'm a
No,
smart guy, so I
listen.
knew
I
what you were
just
going to try to
used.
do.
No.
What are you
Listen.
talking
Okay.
about?
Hey, Chief, never do that. I'm saying in advance. How old are you? You under 30?
Man, I'm ungaged. I graduated in 1972.
I'm not. Hey, bro, I'm only trying to listen from a guy who's been doing this debating for 17 years. What you don't want to do is that, like, I'm so confident in my information, I don't even care if you question me a certain way. I know I'm gonna still do what I do, right? So if somebody say I got a lot of questions, like revenue do that all the time. Hey, let me ask you this. Let me ask you that. I got no problem. I know I'm gonna cook this guy. Okay, now revenue. Yes, I say all that. Now, what does that mean? And he be, like exactly. You leave me nowhere. So never do that. Always answer the questions as best you can. And if their logic is foo-foo, then you say, hey, no, that don't mean that. But never be ashamed or insecure to answer the questions.
I'm not insecure. I've answered every single question. What I'm not going to stand for is people dismissing my overall argument just to cherry pick what they want out of it and then generalize the rest and say I never said something. I think that's crazy. I stood up here and said, you know what? Okay,
All
you're
right,
right. Okay, da
so
da
why
da.
we just can't? So why we just can't reset then? Okay, so why folks got to be stuck on what they stuck on? Why not just if we're having an honest conversation, like why not just reset, right, and not have a gotcha
There's
conversation?
no reset with somebody who said, I think that you hate black people. I think that that's super, super crazy because that means
Well,
that everything that I say, he's going to purposely misunderstand or you are going to purposely misunderstand because the overall ideology is that I hate my own people.
But see,
That's
hold
nah,
fucking
on.
nah.
stupid.
See,
And I wouldn't be on
you
a
keep
live
saying
for an
you
hour
keep saying
plus if I
overall,
hated
but you
black
keep.
people. That's
But hold
crazy.
on, you keep saying overall ideology, but when you bring up your specific points, they're saying the opposite.
That's not true.
Hey, okay. How about this, Chief? Would you consider this? So, what's the better name in your mind? We should let's
That
go with
don't
that.
even matter. I don't even
No,
matter.
hey, bro.
That don't even
Hey,
matter.
bro. Hey, Chief. I'm just trying to pick your brain, my guy. I want to know how your brain operates. So if you could just like,
Something
for
that the
example,
youth comes up with. Something that the youth comes up with.
so but you
That's
don't
what
have nothing.
matters.
So you can't just freestyle something out off the top of your head.
I definitely do. I already said it. But again,
What was
everything that
it?
I say is
No,
gonna
no,
be
no.
no.
Hey, bro.
Technically, no.
Okay,
That's
no.
false. Like,
Bro,
never mind.
how can somebody? That's a word. That's not my logic. That's why I have a problem with black. I feel like black is a word. But say it. I mean, maybe I did miss it, but I will make sure to make note of it this time. So, because I heard you say salon right earlier.
That's the name that I like. That's the
Okay.
term that I like because
See,
that's connected to our
see.
food. That's connected to our music.
Okay.
That's
Well,
we got
first of
positive. We
all,
have positive representation with that. The Soul
okay.
Train Awards,
So hold on.
awards, etc., etc.
So first of all, I came up with Soul Lineager because I ain't like the acronym. So we're on that. You dig? As a matter of fact, my YouTube thumbnail to this live was Soul, and my acronym was something cool. I just said so I call Soul shout out our unique lineage, right? So that was my acronym to Soul. But yeah, I agree with that. I feel like we're the Soul people. That's unique to Black Americans. That ain't to nobody else. But I don't like the fact that Solon is an acronym because acronyms are they are all acronyms are backdoors to a
How is
lineage.
it? It's not an acronym though. How is it an acronym? What does
Okay,
it stand for?
so I mean, I definitely did you ever see the acronym? All those words meant something when I looked that up.
No,
All
but
those
okay.
letters.
So what do they mean? Because they don't.
I gotta connect back off. Okay, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go back out and come back in. But you tell me what's not okay. So what part of it is the acronym?
I guess the only one is the double
I
A.
guess.
The
Okay.
only one is the double A. Everything else is not.
So what about the N?
The end doesn't mean nothing. It just ends it.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you put together words. Okay, so one thing about words, you can't come up with a word that the soul means soul. You add African American, which I got a problem with. I'm not African American at all. And that's just as bad as that's worse than black to me. But Yeah, so that part would be issue for me, but
I mean,
not
but
the
we do
end.
have a history with the word now at this point. So
Bro, we got a history with Negro and color too, and
my
but that don't
point,
mean
and we still claim black, don't we? We over here
wait,
fighting about it.
yeah,
So
wait, no, look, okay, see that here's your thing. The semantical wordplay. I'm telling you, bro. I'm trying to give you OG advice. That's not gonna fly in tables with scholars, bro. They're gonna cook you on that.
that's not true, though.
Yeah,
I
okay.
literally, that's not true.
I got it. Okay. Well, when you're ready, I could put you on the table with some Pan-African scholars, right? People with doctorate degrees, and you try that with them. Okay, I could put you in touch with Dr. Ruxpin, the at your earliest convenience.
Shout out to that. I'm literally enrolled in
Okay.
a top and a number one public university in the world. That's literally where I go to school.
I got you. Yeah, but they're not arguing.
Yeah, they are.
No, hey, bro.
Not the academic
Hey, yo,
thing.
I will. Hey, bro. Hey, you know he's capping, bro. Please.
I'm capping. Oh my mama. I'm capping. Hold on, right quick.
Bro, please put the.
That's something I don't got to cap about my education. What are we talking about?
Okay. If that's true, if they're having these conversations, bro, then I will invite both of you to my Zoom link on YouTube. I will invite you and whatever that scholar is, whoever that person is, on my Zoom link with my YouTube following way larger than TikTok. But I would love to speak to that scholar on this topic right here. We're talking about endonyms, exonyms. I would love to speak to that scholar because I know that this ain't their lane. I know it ain't. Okay, but anyway,
You got it.
I know it ain't. I know it's not their lane.
You got it.
Okay.
You got
So anyway, would you consider yourself a Moor?
No, I don't care. I don't. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, y'all want to debate the historical names and da da da. I don't care about that.
Why? I just asked one question.
No,
My man ran down the whole.
I can't. No, I consider myself a Black American. I consider myself a Afro-Creole man. I consider myself a Solani. Right?
Okay,
if we get to that point,
I'm gonna go out again just to look up Salon. I could have sworn when I googled it before, all those letters meant something. All right, so let me give me about 5 seconds. Go back out, come back in. All right, because it's gonna disconnect. Wait, hold on. Somebody want to come up? Who want to come up? What the? Yeah, I'm trying to make one of y'all mods to let people up. How you do that?
I don't even know how, player. You better let Chief better be the administrator of that. I'll be dropping things, pulling people, the wrong people up. Yeah, you don't want to give me that.
Now, ain't no wrong people up, man. We're content creators. Ain't no wrong people up. When they start being goofy, you kick them off. All right, so let me be right back. But Chief, I could have sworn every letter meant something. All right, hold on.
I'll cash up you $500 if that's the case.
I thought so long did mean something, but I'm not sure. I thought each letter
only the double A stand for African American is when I researched
Salon? I thought they didn't mess with the African American thing. It's Salon.
See, and this is what I'm saying. I know the quote unquote people that's taking credit for naming Solon did not come up with it. It was a youth. This got started on TikTok. The creators that's talking about, they said they came up with it on Twitter. That is not the case. That is not the case. Not the case. That is not the case.
I'm going with the one that don't have African American in it. That's the one I'm going with. The one that don't have that in it.
We can change that. That's not a big. That's not a bad thing.
I mean, why we got to change it?
Because I think that's a fire name. I think that's a fire name. First of all, we came up with it. The youth came up with it. Second of all, it's cohesive. It matched with our food. It matched with our music.
If it's related to African American, it presents the same problem as anything else.
I disagree because it doesn't. I disagree. I think that we still have paperwork and legal status and legal yada 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 scholarships through African American.
Well, we might as well keep Black in that case then too.
But
that's
no,
what
I'm saying,
man.
I'm
saying stuff that be in conflict with what you be saying, man. Come on, man. You gotta be consistent.
I am consistent. I'm saying.
So if we don't want to mess with anything related to African American. So you're saying the original creators of Solon, that double A is African American. We got to be like, all right, man, nah, we can't mess with it because at some point in time it had African American in it, and somebody gonna rehash that at some point. We're gonna be in the same position we're in, fine. But then you said, no, we can get past that. But then why don't we just keep black? Why do we gotta go through all the trouble of switching names, fighting for new names meaning when we just keep the name we got and fight for the current names meeting?
Because these other groups don't have a history of them naming themselves soul people or soul food or soul music.
They don't have a history of naming themselves black.
Of them naming themselves soul people or soul food or soul music.
They don't have a history of naming themselves black.
See, so now I'm questioning your black card. You questioned mine earlier, Queens.
Why would you question my black card?
You.
Why? What have I said against black
family? And then earlier you talking about I'm not Black American. This is crazy.
Right, but what does that have to do? Why would you? What have I said against black people?
Because I question you because you don't think that we're creative enough to come up with our own name.
I didn't say that. I don't think the reason for the change. I don't think your reason for the change justifies the change. Is what I'm saying.
I get it.
I gave you what a good reason for the change would be, and you didn't even listen to it. You could actually use that in your arguments later.
So now you're trying to say that. Okay, what was it?
All right.
Oh, God. I'll tell you later. Let Ron speak. I'll give it to you afterwards.
This guy, yo, he's a mess. Yo, this dude said, now, by the way, you know African Americans worse than black, right?
I don't think he does.
Chief,
he's cool with it.
When you looked it up, what did it say?
No, I'm just asking. You know, well, first of all, African American is not in the word Salon. All right.
Okay. Well, good.
Because I was gonna say, bro, had it been there, that's why I was like, wait, what? African Americans. So now,
but hold on now. From somebody who is first of all college educated but still in college and that's trying to do good PR. FBA has a bad name now because folks just want to shit on and dog on certain things. So, but what I'm saying is, it's going to take us to a certain degree. We're going to have to clean up the PR around this term.
Hey, bro,
I'm going to keep saying
that's why I'm on TikTok, my guy. That's my whole sole purpose. Salon. My whole Salon purpose.
So
was to come on TikTok was to clean up these toxic, goofy FBA spaces who are giving us a bad rep. And these guys,
we've fallen into that. We've fallen into that. We do, man. We
just had a great, sensible, educational way to have a conversation. This was very communicable. Everybody who watched this was like, yeah, this is how you communicate. Nobody was calling people names. No tether was thrown around. None of that. And even with the guy, the Somalian guy, even with him, sensible, educational, respectful, bro. I represent Black excellence. Okay, so I don't have spaces, and I don't lead by example to be that messy. I feel like I'm too educated to stoop that low. Personally, I feel like I could have a regular conversation and disagree without calling for my name and cussing somebody out. I think it's much harder.
I'm just saying, I want to get to the space where we can have educated topics and people's credentials are actually certified and people's black cards are actually certified. I think that it's time now. The spaces is we've moved past that. Real dialogue is happening. We going viral.
That's a fantasy, though.
That is talking, and I definitely don't think it's a fantasy. We've already had these stuff back in the 70s.
Nowhere near. Yeah, but bro,
what I'm saying is, I mean, we're gonna have to have certain people to validate it, and we've already actually got that cosign. So if we need to capitalize on it.
Validate what?
And the FBA identity, specifically FBA, because that was mentioned by Ryan Coogler, who validated it. But also to validate delineation specifically, because I think we underestimate how much Black is conflated with the global presence, and it's easy to say this on spaces, but okay. I get it. I mean, and truth tellers from New York, and he's trying to tell me that
I'm in Jersey.
Black isn't okay. Well, y'all from New York, and y'all trying to tell me Black isn't
from New Jersey.
Well, the East Coast, cool. So there's Caribbeans and there's is black immigrants all throughout there.
Yeah.
And they not claiming black.
Hey, bro, I've never in my life, one of my best friends is Guyana. I know his whole entire family don't mind. Like these are my brothers and sisters. I've never in my life ever heard. I know since high school, like freshman, I've never heard a Jamaican. I've never heard any islander in my life say they're black. Never. So this is new to me. This is new to me when I'm on the internet and people saying they're black and they're like from the Caribbean. I'm like, what? Like you trolling, right? I've never heard them say that, bro.
Because when they were talking to them about us to separate them from us for sure, which doesn't always have to be a negative.
I'll give you a story. 1992, I went down to Miami for the summer to chill with my cousin and stayed at my aunt's house. We went to go play basketball. I was playing what I thought was a bunch of black dudes. A couple of them happened to be Cuban. Well, we New Yorkers, me and my brother and my cousins, we all New Yorkers playing ball. You know how we play. But we down there playing with Floridians. Well, of course, things got, tough. We New Yorkers, we started calling. The N-word started to get slung. My man said, hey, I'm not black. I am Cuban. I'm light-skinned. He was dark, like he was Nigerian dark. He told me he's not black. He's Cuban. So I don't know where y'all getting this whole black thing from. I don't either. Because they up until like the early 2000s, they ain't never been black.
Never.
Puerto Ricans ain't never been black. Mexicans ain't never been black.
I agree with that for sure.
So how are we accepting them all as
But
black
what I'm
now?
saying is now because it's cool to be black for the first time in a long time, and social media has made it even cooler because it's not going nowhere. It's here now. It's here. But why are everybody who has a connection to black is going to claim black now if they're smart because it's cool to be. So we're gonna have to move past that, and I think this is the difference between somebody who's on the younger side and on the older side. It's y'all setting y'all ways. Y'all don't see it. Y'all still talking about what y'all was growing up. This is different.
Why are you accepting it?
Because what do you mean? It's already there, and I think that again, it's an uphill battle. This goes to my point though. I said earlier it's an uphill battle to try to stay and be territorial over black. I said now we should just come up with something new because we creative, because we this. That's what I said.
All right, so look. So here, I think the uphill battle is both ways. I think just like it's hard to gatekeep it, I think it's hard to reject it. Because like you said, like they already volunteered us into that. And we're actually the face of blackness. So when people say black, like look, we sat there and on these spaces, and I'm sure you did too. We sat there and debated people who from Caribbean or Africa, and they looked at stats, black stats, that's negative. And they tried to pretend that those stats reflect us only, right? So I had to remind them, like, hey, man, when you read black stats, that's a racial category, right? You're in there, right? I had to remind, like revenue. When you read that, right? The black crime, the black unemployment, the black high school dropout. You're in there, right? That's not disaggregated. That's aggregated information with all the races combined. Like, so I feel like it's just as hard to gatekeep it as it is hard to like try to disassociate ourselves from it and try to come up with something else. Because even when you say Salon, they're gonna say, hey, those black people, they Salon. they're not gonna stop calling us black. Because we are actually the face of it. When you say black on black crime, nobody think of Jamaicans, nobody think of Nigerians. They think of black Americans. First black this, first black that. They think of us. So I think it's just
you're
as hard
thinking in terms of America, and I agree. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but when you step outside of America and spend time outside of America, there is a global blackness, 110%. I can assure you.
So how are you stepping outside of it then?
Historically, like physically, you actually go there, and if you go to
that's not my question. I said, how are you? You just said, let's drop it. Let's choose something else. How are you doing that when it's global? It's too late, right?
It's not too late because we can define ourselves as a ethnicity. We can do it.
How long do you think it'll long do you think it'll take to establish our new name as our ethnicity?
Not
Globally.
long at all. Not long at all. Especially with the tool of social media, it connects it connects us nationwide.
So what's to stop these other people from saying it, using that same name? If it's so easy for us to establish it.
I mean, they can. Let's not act like there's not people. I mean, we have YT people claiming to be Native American, so they can do it. But who cares? We're going to be able to spot them out. We're going to be able to yada yada.
And what's the point of using a new name?
Yeah, you just cooked yourself.
No, I guess.
What's the point of using a new name?
For ourselves. What are we talking? Oh, you know what? This is crazy. Because
do it for ourselves.
Yo, bro, you gotta start freestyling and sit there and gather your thoughts. Oh my
goodness! Bro. Listen, I'm gonna land with this. I'm gonna land with this because I'm kind of over. I love my people, 1000% proud Black American. My family is very important in real life. Walking in certain spaces in real life, very, very impressive. And I'm myself very, very impressive. And I've been on this FBA stuff since it literally started on Twitter. I was a part of it on it and because I'm very pro Black, very love Black people and love Black essence, love Black everything. And I left because it got toxic and I can't defame my name like that. I'm way too important. So I'm for the progression in real life. And I'm connected to these Black people in real life. And I'm seeing what's going on. I'm hearing what's going on. And I don't care for it. And I want to do something about it. So if it's not rooted in that, this is crazy. And I think, shout out to y'all, respect y'all, love the conversations. Very proud of the ethnic pride and everywhere. And then with that, I'm out.
Wait, no, don't run off too fast. Don't try to get the last word and run off. So now, look, what I suggested was this. Like those folks that's toxic with the FBA name. I said, hey, either I'm FBA and they're not, or they're FBA and I'm not. Because I'm like, yo, that don't reflect me. What they doing out there? Okay, leave. I said, what they doing out there don't reflect me. And the sad thing is that a lot of FBAs won't call them out. And these people are complete. I mean, yo, the FBA on FBA crime is worse than FBA and tether crime. I just watched something today. I just couldn't believe they're all FBAs. And the way they went at each other was unbelievable. I mean, you couldn't even fathom. So yes, I agree. So I sense that too. And now when I saw an FBA, they tied me to that. It happened here. When you FBA, and they start cussing me out until I get them to calm down, and they realize, oh, you're not like them. So I'm like, damn, like they really messed his name up so bad or early. So that's why I knew sometimes it's strategical when you want to get a message across. If you say you're FBA, they're gonna shut you down. Don't do it. I've been saying that. Use a different delineated term, like you said, Solon, Friedman, Adolf. Use a different term because you see FBA got pulled from what's the ABC News. So that's telling you that this name is starting to be hot, right? And in order to get some work done, you probably sometimes can't use it. You gotta use something else. But it is getting toxic.
I want that smoke though, Ron. So if they ask me, I'm telling them.
Yeah, but what if they close the door as soon as you say FBA?